Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Friday, September 20th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORION NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Seattle Mariners versus the Texas Rangers. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 10 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Friday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, we have our most consistent hitter, right fielder, Victor Robles. And on the right, the OG stud for the Rangers, right fielder, Adolis Garcia. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in right field, Victor Robles. Batting second, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, catching tonight for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Batting fifth, playing first base for Seattle, Luke Raley. Batting sixth, DHing tonight for the Mariners, Justin Turner. Batting seventh, playing second base, Jorge Polanco. Batting eighth, playing shortstop for the Mariners, J.P. Crawford. And batting ninth, playing third base for Seattle, Hollywood, Josh Rojas. And on the mound for the Mariners, one of our aces, 12-11 record with an ERA of 3.62. It is George Kirby. And we need a solid 6 or 7 innings out of George here today. We got 9 games to go. Again, we're 2 games back from the wild card. We need the Tigers as well as the Twins to lose tonight, and we just need to take care of business. Now, the good thing for the Seattle Mariners, we got Victor Robles back, and when he's playing in the lineup, we have a better chance to win. And, almost 100% better chance to win when he's there. And we're 8-2 this year against the Texas Rangers, and they don't have Corey Seager. So there is an opportunity here, even though we're going to be going against some veteran pitchers in DeGrom and Scherzer in the next 2 days. Let's get it done. Let's go Mariners. And now let's get into the starting lineup for the home Texas Rangers. Sweet spinning logo for the Rangers there. Leading off for the Rangers at second base, Marcus Semien. Batting second, playing shortstop for Texas, Josh Smith. Batting third, playing left field, up-and-coming stud, Wyatt Langford. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, right fielder, Adolis Garcia. Batting fifth, playing first base, Nathaniel Lowe. Batting sixth, catching tonight for the Rangers, Jonah Heim. Sweet photo. Batting 7th, playing DH for Texas tonight, Ezekiel Duran. Batting 8th, playing center field, Leody Taveras. And batting 9th, playing third base, Jonathan Ornelas. And on the mound for the Rangers with his second start in 2024, Jacob deGrom. Let's go, baby. We're going to be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and obviously 100 in the donos on every single stream. And make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health. It's the most important thing you can do every day that you wake up. You know, addiction, depression, anxiety. These are things that not only I've gone through, but I know some of y'all are going through it right now. So if you are in a dark space or you don't really feel like your full potential self, make some minor adjustments to your daily routine. If you're not exercising at all, exercise. If you're not eating healthy, eat healthier. Listen to 30 minutes of music every single day. And if you make these minor adjustments to your daily routine while getting rid of the toxic people in your life, spending time with pets, family, and friends, you'll be really surprised on how quick you'll be able to turn your life around and get back on track to win the day. All right, baby, let's go. Seattle Mariners versus the Texas Rangers. First pitch is going to be here in just a couple minutes. Career versus the Rangers in 8 starts. George Kirby is 6-0 with a .92 ERA, opponent average of .187, and hopefully George can bring the magic here tonight. Let's go Mariners. Let's get it, baby. And we only got 3 series left. We got the Rangers, right? We got the Astros, and then we got the A's. So there's only a number of games left, and we really need some help. We need the Tigers to lose. We need the Twins to lose. We need the Astros to lose, and we just need to put our head down and get the job done. And again, it may come down to, you know, one of the very last games where we either get in or we miss it by a half game or a game. But again, I do feel pretty confident. Obviously, in these last 3 series, obviously, I feel the Houston series will probably be the toughest. The Athletics are much better, and they would love to spoil the Mariners season. I mean, they already have quite a few times this year with Brett Rooker and company. So, again, the Athletic one is going to be definitely tough because they want to play spoiler. They got some good players on their team like Brent Rooker and a few others, and we got to make sure that we don't take them for granted, because if you take a team like that for granted, they'll punch you in the mouth, and then we might be eliminated, you know, even before we get to the last series at the end of the year. But today, it's Friday. Everyone's feeling good. We want to get it done, and let's go Mariners. Let's get it, baby. AM, you got the right idea, baby. Let's go. And I don't know if we're going to be able to win 9 straight. That might be, you know, a little out of hand. Obviously, we'll see on how Houston does against their teams. You know, realistically, you know, 7-2, 8-1, it would be really hard. But I'm not sure, you know, obviously if we do go 9-0, we might be able to, you know, that's going to be the best case scenario. But I just don't know if we can go 9-0. I mean, that's asking a lot, you know, from a team that can't really hit on a regular basis. But hopefully there'll be a little bit of magic from the baseball gods, and hopefully we can get all the other teams to lose, and we can get on a nice hot streak here at the end of the year. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you got a Twitter/X account, do your boy a solid and like and retweet the post. And if you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. It'll hit the algorithm a lot quicker if we can get 20 within the first hour, and then we'll be on our way to get 30 to 50. Let's get to 100 in donos. Let's do it. Chris in the building. What's good, man? I'm good. You know, just grinding away every day, you know, a different big event. You know, it might be baseball today, you know, possibly college football or baseball tomorrow, NFL on Sunday and Monday. So it's just a never-ending grind. The Ducks have the day off, obviously, tomorrow and the week off. So tomorrow's stream is 1 or 2 possibilities. It's either going to be USC and Michigan, which is probably the most intriguing matchup, obviously, in college football in this upcoming week. Or we'll end up doing the Mariners versus the Rangers. Emerson Hancock is on the mound. Obviously, we think it would have been a little bit better having Castillo, even though he's not the number one anymore. He might be our fifth best pitcher. But with that being said, Castillo is a little bit more trustworthy than Emerson Hancock. But more than likely, I'll probably end up just watching the USC-Michigan game, and we'll do the Mariners stream tomorrow. I mean, we don't have that many games left. So it's going to be tough to win with Emerson Hancock, but also I don't want to miss an opportunity, to be able to do a game where it looks like we might lose and we might end up having some magic happen. Let's go, baby. Dakota in the building. Let's go Mariners. Let's get it. Captain Oreo. Let's go Mariners. Again, we're 8-2 against the Rangers this year. George Kirby is 6-0 against the Rangers. We've got a great ERA against them, so hopefully he's wheeling and dealing. No Corey Seager, right? We got the Rangers and the Athletics and the Astros left, all in the division. We need the Twins and the Tigers and Astros to lose as much as possible. And again, it's going to be kind of tough for that to happen, but it looks like we're getting a little bit of help here tonight in the Orioles matchup. So I like that. But again, we're going to have to wait and see how everything kind of plays out as we, get a little bit further to the end of the regular season. Absolutely, bro. I got you, man. Like, fantasy football is one of my favorite things to do on planet Earth. When it's fantasy season, I'm on the app like 3-4 hours a day. I'm spying on everyone else's team. I'm going through every player on the wire. I'm always trying to find some extra advantage to be able to try to win a championship. I've never finished lower than third in any league that I've ever participated in. But again, I put in more work than most. So again, if you got anything for me on the fantasy side, you let me know and I got you. No problem, bro. I got you. Okay, so with Akers, if it's his first start, and again, you're going against the Vikings defense, obviously the Vikings are a little bit surprising this year with their record. So I wouldn't play Akers at all because I wouldn't trust a player like him. Has he ever really been a consistent running back? No. He's always been a guy that's been injury prone, and I highly doubt that he'll be able to get 100 yards. Yes, he might be able to get, 40 to 60, and he might be able to get into the end zone if they get him on the goal line, or there's a play that gets down to like the 1-2-3. But definitely, I would not be playing Akers. As far as Shakir, that would be a decent option. Big swing and a miss by Victor Robles on the first pitch. That's going to be about 10 points. 10 to 13 points from Shakir. There is an upside with him where he might be able to get into the end zone, maybe even twice, but they haven't really established a Josh Allen threat. But Shakir looks like he's the favorite so far. But if it's me, I'm going to be going, obviously, with Jerome Ford. That has a good matchup. You have a potential to, on the low side, he'll probably get 10. On the high side, he could end up getting 15 to 22. So for me, it's a clear answer. Ford, then Shakir, then Akers. Akers is not someone I would ever play. Shakir, I would only play if you had no other options. Down goes Victor Robles, one away. But I have Jerome Ford on my team, but I have a lot of other running backs that are better. It's a good green matchup for Ford. So again, is it possible that Shakir ends up getting 2 touchdowns and having his breakout game, even though he scored about 10 to 13? Yeah, I mean, it's possible. But again, I think I would go with Ford. That would be the one that I would trust. Yes, he's sharing time with Deontay Foreman. Stole some of his touches, last week, but they're going against the Giants. The Giants are fucking terrible. So each guy could end up getting, 10 to 15 points each. So if it was me, I would probably go with Jerome Ford. Hopefully that will answer your questions there for fantasy. I got you, brother. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. Oh, yeah. Oh, WSU is definitely going to win. We already seen them. If you can beat the Huskies, obviously, in the Apple Cup, they have so much confidence. And again, they are very underrated. And I feel like the polls are doing them dirty because they don't want to have a conference that only has 2 teams in it to have a team in the top 25. I think they're kind of hating on them. So eventually you're going to get Washington State in the top 25, but definitely I wouldn't be surprised if Washington State ends up winning that by a decent amount. Julio, little chopper. There we go. Into right field. Victor Robles doesn't get a hit, but Julio does. We like that. Let's go, baby. Nice job. And as Victor gets on base within the first 2 at-bats, it's a very good sign. And this is probably the most valuable player on the team as far as setting the tone. We already know Julio is great. We know Cal, obviously, is a great player as well. Luke Raley is a cornerstone. But again, Victor Robles, we've seen how shitty we are when he's not in the lineup, offensively and defensively. But since he's in, I like where we're going here today. Nice little single there by Julio Rodriguez into right field. Next up, big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. Let's go, big dumper. I got you, man. And again, with Shakir, you're always wanting to make sure you're looking at the stats, but always go with consistency instead of taking a chance on a guy, that's just going to get an opportunity to play for the very first time. And again, it's cool to have Akers for depth, but I probably would never even play him, no matter what. We know Mixon will end up coming back at some point or another, but you have to build trust, right? Just in relationships. Same thing with fantasy football players. And if you don't have the trust, then don't play them. So obviously you got two guys that you can trust. One guy that has maybe a little bit more upside in Ford. Ford can catch passes as well. Yeah, he may lose, some of his touches to Deontay Foreman, but still, even with that being said, there should still be enough meat on the plate where he could still get to 10, and that's probably what you're going to end up getting, 10 to 13 out of Shakir. 10 probably at the low for Ford, 7 to 10, but on the high side, it could be 12 to 25, depending on, how it goes. And again, they're playing the Giants. The Giants are terrible, so I would assume that they're going to be pounding the rock a lot. And again, both guys will be able to get touches, but hopefully Ford ends up being the lead back. I got you, my guy. Top of the first, 0-0 Mariners and Rangers. Julio at first with 1 out, 3-0 pitch to Cal Raleigh. Cal with the green light smacks that one into the double decker, but that is foul. And it fades all the way down to the single deck, down to about the 15th row for a souvenir. Let's go, baby. And any type of fantasy questions you got, I got you, Chris. It doesn't matter if I'm not doing a football game. It's fantasy season, all football season. So, we already know NASCAR is wrapping up as well as baseball season, but I'm still going to be locked in on that fantasy side too. All right, baby. Cal with a walk. We like that. Runners at first and second. Julio at second. Cal Raleigh at first. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Mariners. Let's bring that electricity, Randy. And we know, like Randy, he likes to step out of the box and be able to take balls until he sees his, pitch that he wants right down the middle. Stepped away out of the box 3 times and then ended up on the 4th pitch hitting a double-decker homer. But again, the Rangers don't forget, and hopefully they don't bean Randy. But again, there might be a little bit of bad blood, between Texas and Seattle. And it just feels like Randy Arozarena and Victor Robles have been targeted. And hopefully, we don't have any injuries. I get it. Teams get upset when you showboat and you hit a home run, or you celebrate, or you walk around the bases a little too slow and showboat and talk shit. But again, nobody wants to get hit, in the face or the upper body with a 90 to 100 mile an hour pitch, and then you get a broken bone and then your season's over. So hopefully Texas will be mature enough not to be able to injure our guys here tonight. I appreciate that. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall. Bay. Let's go. 0-1 pitch. Pitch is outside at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. We're at 8 right now. We need 2 more. There we go. Now we're at 10. Now we need 10 more to go to get to 20. Good start so far from you guys in the room. Appreciate you. Let's go, M's. Let's go. Top of the first. Big swing and a miss by Randy. 1 ball and 1 strike. I got to get some volume up here. 1 sec here. Had the volume about halfway. Got to turn it up. DeGrom on the mound, 15 pitches in. Runners at first and second. Julio and Cal. Randy, slow dribbler towards third, foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Appreciate that. Smashing the like button. Appreciate all the support. Last night was great. Thank you. And again, we're going to be shooting for the 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, 100 in the donos. We need the Mariners to win every single game the rest of the way as much as we can. Obviously, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to go 9-0, maybe 7-2, 8-1. But if we can get a little help for the Astros to lose, as well as the Tigers and Twins, you never know. We might be able to find our way into the wild card or into the playoffs, but we got to be able to take care of business. And Randy Arozarena strikes out looking from Jacob deGrom. 2 away. Next up, another cornerstone to the Mariner franchise besides Cal, Julio, and Victor Robles, first baseman Luke Raley. Let's go, Luke. We need you to nuke it tonight, baby. Let's go. Bring that electricity to the lineup. Let's go. Chuba Hubbard. I don't think the Panthers have any good players, if I'm really being honest. I mean, they got names, like Adam Thielen, who actually broke out for a few weeks last year in fantasy. Miles Sanders, Chuba Hubbard, Bryce, even though he got benched. I mean, obviously, you'll have some pieces on the defense. There's guys that are out there, but that team is in such turmoil. It all starts at the top with the owner Tepper, and he might be one of the worst owners in sports. I mean, we had that with Dan Snyder and the Washington Redskins going back to second safe. But yeah, I mean, I guess, if you want to, besides, I'd have to look at the defensive starters. I would assume there's at least one defensive player that's better than Chuba, that's out there, but I wouldn't be trusting him. I'm not sure if that's a fantasy question or if that's just in general, but I don't trust anybody on the Panthers. So again, of course, if people are looking for running backs on the wire, you're not going to find any because me and Reflect have them all. Me and Reflect already have half of the league. So again, you have to make sure you draft well. You got to make sure you have plenty of running backs. Wide receivers are important as well, but there's a little bit more depth there. And again, if you end up slacking on a certain position, you will feel the pain as we go throughout the year, where some of us have a lot more than the others. And you just have to scramble at that point. Popped up into foul territory. We leave 2 stranded, and it is still 0-0. But I assume that is a fantasy question because I assume that you got Chuba on your bench. So, Megan in the building. How are you? Yeah, I figured it was. I already know everyone's team, so I already know Chuba's on your bench and whatnot. So, again, I probably know everyone's team in the league as much as they do, if not more, And again, there's just going to be certain individuals that you're just going to want to stay away from unless you have to. Like if you got injuries and there's literally nobody left, then if you're forced to play somebody. But, if you got a better option than that, you might want to go that particular route. So. Yeah, and if you don't store the running backs, and again, we already know running backs and wide receivers are going to get hurt a lot. But again, you want to make sure that you have depth. And I did notice that a good chunk of our league doesn't have very many. They got, maybe 2, maybe 1 or 2 on the bench. But most teams, are only looking at maybe 3 total, maybe 4. And you'll start to realize when the matchups are bad or when injuries creep up, you will be hurting. And again, and I'm not going to say that the same thing can happen to wide receivers. We've been seeing the wide receivers go down just as quick as the running backs within the first couple weeks. Both positions are very physical. You're going to get a lot of ankle injuries with the wide receivers. Obviously them, pushing off and being able to break off their routes and people landing on them and, getting twisted up. So, again, knees primarily, and legs for the running back, ankles more typically for the wide receivers. And I haven't seen this many superstars injured within the first 2 weeks or having questionable or doubtful injuries. But that's where we're at in 2024. So that's why you want to make sure you have a contingency plan, a backup plan. So that way, if you do have a lot of your guys get hurt, you're not fucking screwed looking on the wire and seeing nothing and seeing all the other players on someone else's bench, like myself or Reflect. All right, George, let's go, baby. Bottom of the first, 0-0. George Kirby on the mound, 6-0 record versus the Texas Rangers. Nice ERA as well. Leading off for the Rangers, first baseman Marcus Semien. Little chopper towards third base. Throw to first, 1 away. Good start there for the Mariners. Next up, shortstop for the Rangers in the 2-hole, Josh Smith. Kirby with the 4-seam slider, sinker, splitter, and knuckle curve, baby. Let's go. That one chopped foul. Yeah, but the thing is, Megan, you got to utilize your players if you have them, right? It's one thing to look at green matchups, right? But you also want to make sure that you're playing the best player. So again, you have to make sure that you're clicking on the names and you're looking at the stats. Because if you're just looking at green and red and you're not looking at the points scored every week, you're going to end up fucking up your lineup. And, you may still end up winning, your lineup based on your, players that you have. But if you end up playing someone that is strong, that's going to end up having their best players, you're not going to want to have even one spot left with a chance. You want to make sure that you have your best players in and that you're not playing someone that just has a green matchup. You want to make sure you're playing someone, even if it's a neutral or red, but if they're scoring 10, 15, 20 points a game compared to someone that has a green matchup that's scoring 5, you're doing yourself a disservice by not being able to have the best quality lineup for your fantasy. So I know you're kind of new to it, and you've only been doing this for a couple years, and I know other people in the league wouldn't have said that because obviously they're not going to want to help anybody, but again, I want to make sure that, you understand the full potential of your team, because if you actually look at your team, you could argue your team is one of the best teams so far in fantasy because of the players that you have, but you just got to make sure that you're playing the best players every week, because if not, there's going to be a chance where you're going to leave points on the bench. And if you leave points on the bench, you're going to end up losing. So I want to make sure that, you realize that too. Green matchups are good, but again, you have to make sure that it's the right player, because a green matchup and a guy's only averaging 5 points a game. You got a guy that's got a neutral or a red matchup that's putting up 20 a game. There's no way that you would be putting in a guy that's green 5 instead of a guy that's neutral or red with a 20. You got to make sure that you're looking at those things. And again, no one else in the league is going to tell you this besides me. But again, if you end up making sure that you're clicking on the names and you're going through the point totals every week, that's going to maximize your point total and give you the best chance to not only make the playoffs this year, but to possibly win the championship. You always want to look at that, because I already spy on your lineup and I already know, what you got. But again, it's like, when you got guys like Dobbins and JSN, and you got like, Pat Freiermuth, there is no scenario on planet Earth that you would be playing Freiermuth over those other two guys, period. Like, there's no reason, Freiermuth isn't even a good player, really. He's not going to get a whole lot of targets. What's the upside for Freiermuth? Maybe like 8, or 10 if he gets lucky, but there's a good chance he gets nothing. Or 3 points or 5 points. But then if you got guys like Dobbins and JSN that might end up giving you 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, why would you not put that guy in the lineup rather than just putting someone else that's got a green matchup? So these are the things that you will learn as you start doing fantasy, because if you don't put your strongest lineup forward and your best foot forward, you might get away with it for a little bit if you play weaker teams and weaker competition. But there is going to come a moment, when you end up playing a team equal to you, and if you leave Dobbins on the bench or JSN or one of your other strong pieces, right, you're going to lose. And it'll be something that you won't be able to forgive yourself, especially when you look at your bench and see you have like 60, 80 points on your bench. And if you just would have made the one substitution before the game started on the weekend, you would have won. So again, you always want to make sure that you're looking at those individual things. What do you mean number doesn't have a color? What do you mean? If it's neutral? So again, red matchups typically are tough, but if a player is really good, it doesn't matter most of the time, unless it's like a red 1, then you're really, having a risk. Like with me, I got Mike Evans, it's a red 1. That means it's the worst matchup that you can have all year. It's going against the best corner in football, or one of the best, Patrick Surtain. But I have no other choice. So I got to roll the dice. And yeah, do I know that he might get shut down and only get 7 points? Yeah, I take the risk. But again, if you don't have any other options and there's still upside that he might score on Surtain, even though he's held DK and Pickens to 3 catches and like 30 yards. So there's a chance that he might be a dud, but it's also a chance that he might be able to do something. Big swing and a miss. There you go, George Kirby. End of the first inning, 0-0. So neutral has no color, which means it's kind of in the middle. Red matchups obviously are difficult, but not impossible. And then green matchups are, the best matchup possible. But the thing is in fantasy that you have to realize that just because it says green doesn't mean that you're going to get points. There's sometimes when you have a green matchup and they get nothing. It's like a great matchup, but they don't do anything. You could have a neutral matchup where it's gray and you get nothing. Even if they're projected for 15 or 20, they just have a bad game, right? And there's also red matchups where it could end up being a bad game for that person, right? But also, we've seen red matchups get 10, 20, 30 points. So you have to not just take it by color alone. You have to look at the stats. You have to look each week on how the guy is producing. Is he a reliable player? And then you also want to make sure you're looking at the ranking of the player compared to all the other players in the position. So if you got a guy that's, a top 10 player, but he's got a red matchup, and you got other guys that are ranked 20th or 30th, and they might be big names, but if they're not producing as much as the other guy, you have to make sure you're putting your best foot forward. So again, no one else is going to tell you this information besides me because they want to win their own, matchups and they want to make the playoffs. There's a lot of quality teams in our league this year. Only 4 are going to make it, and you haven't been hit with the injury bug just yet, right? So you want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward because if the injuries do come, and you get guys that are out for the year or out for a month, you want to make sure you get as many wins before that happens. So hopefully that answers your question. And you also have to understand the bench, right? The bench, right, doesn't matter. You don't get points for guys on your bench. You only get points for your starting lineup. So, like I said, so for you, and this is me just being real, right? You should have already been playing Dobbins every single week. So you've kind of fucked up already. Even though your record is okay, but Dobbins has been playing so good, and JSN, you should be using both of those guys in the lineup, right? You don't get points for the guys that are on the bench. The bench is just the bench, right? You only get points from the starting 9 positions, right? But for every week that you don't have either Dobbins or JSN in, like at the flex can be a running back, a wide receiver, or a tight end. There's no reason to be putting in any other tight end or playing 2 tight ends when you got one guy that's scoring like 20 points a game in Dobbins, right? And then you got another guy in JSN that can give you 10, 15, or 20 also. So there would be no reason to even be playing Freiermuth, consider Freiermuth. That is just a bad decision, right? And again, no one else in the league is going to tell you that, right? But again, I feel that you need to understand how to set a lineup to get the best chance to win. And then it's up to you from there on out. I can't guide you and hold your hand throughout the whole thing because I'm trying to get to the playoffs as well. And there's other teams that, obviously are trying to get there. But again, so far in the year, you haven't really put your best team forward, especially when you got a guy like, even though J.K. Dobbins might not be the most famous running back, right? His numbers are better than Etienne and Henry. So that tells me that you probably haven't really been looking at the points. And you have to look in there. If you actually look at the rankings, Dobbins is a top 5 running back. Etienne and Henry are not. They haven't been playing as good as Dobbins. So if that's the case, then you want to make sure Dobbins is in your lineup, not necessarily over one of those other 2 guys, but like at the flex. So it should either be Dobbins or JSN at the flex every week, unless it ends up being a bye week. If you put any other player on your team in that spot, you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're going to possibly win some of those, but there is going to be a point where you got JSN or Dobbins on the bench and you will lose. So again, no one else is going to give you this information. I'm just trying to be honest and real, but then you take the information from what I'm saying and you can either take it to heart or not. And then we'll see what happens with your lineup moving forward. But again, flex can be running back, wide receiver, tight end, but you have to understand how to do a lineup. And hopefully that'll answer your questions there. Captain Oreo with a 7. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang, little slow dribbler to first, 2 away. And you always want to make sure you're looking at the points and the rankings every week, because if you're just going to be doing it on name recognition, like, oh, Derrick Henry's famous, ETN is a good player, but if both of them are ranked like 20th, or 22nd, and then you got J.K. Dobbins ranked 4th in the world, right? And he's getting 20-some points a game, and you got him on the bench, you're not getting any points for that. You got to put him in the lineup. So hopefully that will help you out there moving forward. Top of the second, 0-0 Mariners and Rangers. Pitches outside to J.P. Crawford. 1-0 count. Anna from Mexico in the building. What's good? Yeah, but you got to make sure you're adjusting your lineup every week. You have to be paying attention. It's not just set it and forget it. So, yeah, ETN and Henry are good, but again, I can't manage your team every single day. You have to be able to do that on your own. So, again, if you're looking at the beginning of the year going into the very beginning, yeah, ETN and Henry are big names. But if you click on the name and look at how many points they've scored compared to Dobbins has been much better. So, again, it's not about name recognition. It's about actually clicking on the names and checking up on the stats each week. And if you're not doing that, then you're not going to win. That's really how it comes down to. You have to do the work. You just can't be like, well, these guys are good, I'm going to leave them there. You got to be able to make adjustments every week, and you have to pay attention on what they're doing every single week. Because a guy could end up putting up 20 points the first week and then like 8 the next week, when you got another guy that might be putting up 20 every week. You got to make sure that you're doing that. And if you're not going to do that, then your lineup is going to suffer, because then you're going to end up having the wrong people in the lineup. So always click on the names every single week, and make sure you're looking week 1, what did they do? Week 2, what did they do? And it's also going to have a ranking on what the rank is compared to every other, running back, that is in the league. So again, you want to make sure you're putting as many top 10 players in your lineup. You don't want to be putting in someone that's ranked 70th in your starting lineup. That doesn't make any sense. It's almost a recipe for disaster. 3-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes J.P. Crawford. And let's go to the bottom of the second inning, and we're still at 0. And again, I know there's going to be some people in the league that might be not too thrilled of me giving you this information and whatnot, because that's something that you need to learn on your own. But again, once you learn, the basic rules on how fantasy works, that you get no points on your bench, but you want your bench to be good. You make sure you click on the names, you look at the numbers, you end up, having the best players with the best numbers to give yourself the best chance to win. And again, there's going to be chances where, when you end up having a good player, that has been scoring, 15 or 20 points, they might have a tough matchup, and yeah, they might underwhelm. But again, that's the risk that you do in fantasy, but you just want to make sure you're putting your best options and your best foot forward. So again, at your flex position, should never be Freiermuth or any of the other guys, only like Dobbins or JSN. Those guys have obviously been, very successful so far in the year, and you can look at the matchups and go that route. But based on how your lineup sits, that's what I would be doing. So, all right, let's go to the bottom of the second, 0-0 Mariners and Rangers. And let's see who's up next here for Texas. Next up for the Rangers, right fielder, Adolis Garcia. Batting second, first baseman, Nathaniel Lowe. And batting third, catcher, Jonah Heim. Let's go, Mariners. No problem. Just trying to help you, be successful. The best, fantasy player that you can be. And let me know what you want to do for photos. If you want AK-41 for your photos, I got you. Let me know. First pitch in there for a strike to Adolis Garcia from George Kirby. Big swing and a miss. Behind in the count, 0-2. Twins in Detroit both losing. Hell yeah, I love that. Pitches outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're at 7:93 to go. Garcia fouls that one off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 23 home runs this season. Fewest in the last 4 for Adolis Garcia. One-two pitch. Pitches outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. All right, I got you. $10 holla. And again, I'm never going to steer you wrong. I'm always going to give you the best advice, based on, I feel my expertise in fantasy, and there's a few others as well. Nice little chopper there by Adolis Garcia. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. $10 holla. Let me know what you want to do for photos after I get AK-41 photos for Captain Oreo, and then reflect with the 7. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. And you're going to also want to be able to look at, ETN and Henry, because again, obviously if you run 3 running backs and you go ETN, Henry, as well as J.K. Dobbins, that's going to be a very explosive lineup, kind of similar to what I typically have with 3 or reflect, right? But again, you may even want to look at how ETN and Henry are doing. So at one point or another, you might have, let's say, J.K. Dobbins and Henry. Maybe ETN goes to the bench, and then you have JSN at your flex. So you always are going to want to make sure that you're putting your best 3, players in, out of what you have available at like the running back, wide receiver in your flex. You're going to have 2 running backs, you're going to have 2 wide receivers, but that flex position, you want to make sure it's going to get you the most points, whether it's going to be the best running back available or the best wide receiver available. So again, you want to make sure you're looking at the numbers and not get too enamored by the name recognition, because again, Derrick Henry and ETN are names and they're popular, but what happens if they're only putting up 7 or 8 points a game and J.K. Dobbins is putting up 20 and it's on your bench and you're not cashing in? You have to click on the names and look at the stats often, and if you don't, then you'll leave stuff on the bench which could potentially help you lose. But I think JSN and Dobbins would be, great in the lineup. And we didn't really know if JSN would be good enough to be a starter in fantasy. But what we've seen so far, he's taken the job from Lockett. He is the number 2 option. So that is someone that you could have in the lineup as your wide receiver 2 or flex every week, or Dobbins. It's kind of up to you on what you want to do there. But strong pieces need to be played, not to be on the bench and collecting dust. Otherwise, that's just going to help your opponent win. Bottom of the second, 0-0 Mariners and Rangers. Runner at first with 1 away. Throw to first, safe. All right, talk soon. Hopefully we have a lead by that time. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're trying to get 10 points or more, out of every spot, but certain spots you want more. Like quarterback, you're shooting for 20. Kicker, you're shooting for 10 or more. Defense, 10 or more. Tight end, 10 or more. And obviously, with your running backs and your wide receivers, if you have good players, you want 15 or more. So again, anytime you end up getting a lower number than that, you potentially could lose. So hopefully that helps you out, and hopefully it'll help you, click on the names a little bit more and reconfigure your lineup, do a little bit more research, and hopefully we'll see you in the playoffs this year. Well, that's a given. We're not losing to the Broncos. We got a lot of injuries, though. Antoine Winfield Jr. is not playing. Vita Vea is hurt. So we got some guys that are banged up. But, yeah, we're not losing to the Broncos. No disrespect to Matt and the Broncos or my best friend Justin, who's a Bronco fan either. But, the Broncos are going to get a win at some point, but it ain't going to be against Buccaneers. Not this weekend. I would be fucking shocked as hell if that happened. Bucs have been playing like one of the top 5 teams in football right now, and the Broncos at the moment are one of the bottom 5. So to have a top 5 lose to a bottom 5 would be very shocking. But it is the NFL. Anything can happen on any given Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, or any day in between. But if we do Buccaneer football, it could end up being a blowout, but it might end up being closer than people think. We'll have to wait till this weekend and find out. 1-2 pitch from Kirby to Heim. Randy Rosarina is there. 2 away. I got to get some photos prepped here. Next up is Ezekiel Duran. First pitch to Ezekiel Duran for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 242 average, 3 homers and 19 ribbies for Duran. One-0 pitch. That one chopped foul by Duran. 1 ball and 1 strike. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, as far as like Butler and Koo, you just have to go with your gut. Look at the previous history, on how the kickers have done point wise. Look to see who's got a green matchup or a neutral or red, and just try to make the best decision that you can. They also have different articles on the app itself where it has rankings of the players in each position every week. So that will help you decide, a little bit more. But again, you have to be able to navigate the app and go through the rankings to give you more information. 2-2 pitch to Ezekiel Duran. Got him, baby. Let's go. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I was thinking that, I'm either going to stream that game or I'm going to do the Mariners and the Rangers, later in the afternoon. I haven't really decided yet. The Ducks have the week off. That's the most intriguing matchup. I am going to be rooting for USC to win and represent the Pac-12. But, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the best game of the week and one of the best games of the year. And even though it is a scary matchup, it's not like you're playing Michigan from last year. If you were playing Michigan from last year, you would lose. But you're playing Michigan this year, which I think you can win. They still have some talent on the team, but they had a lot of players go to the NFL, and they lost their head coach. USC is the better team and should win as long as they don't make mistakes. So it's pretty much going to be on USC. If they win the game, they're going to execute. If USC loses, it's not going to be because Michigan beat them. It's going to be because USC shot themselves in the foot with like turnovers or whatever the scenario may be. But I'll be rooting for USC, and I'm excited for that matchup tomorrow. It's going to be the best game of the weekend, you would think. And also USC has got a chance to blow them out, which I think is kind of exciting. You wouldn't have been able to say that years back, but obviously the defense has gotten better. Oregon is getting a little bit better as the year goes on. And obviously when you can beat a team, whether it's Ohio State or Michigan, regardless of the ranking, that's a good feeling. obviously coming from an outsider at the Pac-12 and joining their conference. It's like we're trying to bully them and take over the conference. And of course, a lot of the other teams in the conference don't want USC, Oregon, Washington, or UCLA to have success. But at the end of the day, some of those teams are going to have success a little bit sooner than others. It might take a little bit longer for the Huskies and the Bruins to catch up to the Trojans and Ducks, but I'm definitely looking forward to the matchup tomorrow. Get some photos up here real quick. Let's start it off with Captain Oreo and some Alvin Kamara. A couple of photos there, and then we'll go through Reflect when he gets back, as well as Megan. Top of the third, still knotted up at 0. And there we go. Rojas back, gone. 1-0 Mariners. Let's go. Hell yeah. Let's go, Josh. You fucking crushed that. See ya. There we go. That's exactly the start that we fucking needed. Just when I was about to go to AK-41 photos for Captain Oreo, he said, it's okay. Hold off on that. Bang, baby. Nice job, Josh. 1-0 Mariners. Fuck yeah. August 18th was his last home run. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah, baby. Let's go. We'll hold off on the AK-41 photos just for a second. Next up is Victor Robles. I'm loading them now for you, though. I love it when Victor drops the bunt. Again, there's not very many players that can drop the bunt down effectively. And again, when you bunt, it can definitely open the game up. I love, I don't want him to get hit on that wrist or the hand. But again, Victor Robles is so important to this team. When we don't have him in the lineup, I feel that we lose like 95 to 100% of the time. But watch the bunt. 0-2, bunts again on 0-2. 3 bunts in a row. Let's go. See, this is exactly why Victor Robles is the most valuable player on the team as far as the starting lineup and setting the tone. Julio has a lot of potential. Cal, obviously, is the best player this year. Luke Raley is a staple of this team. But when we don't have Victor in the lineup, it hurts us more than not having Julio in the lineup or Cal or Luke Raley. We can make up for that, but we can't make up for Victor Robles. And look at Victor, dropping the bunt down 3 times in a row. And if you bunt on 0-2, goes foul, you're out, right? So there's a risk there. But again, you might get a wild throw to first. It might end up being a double off a bunt. If not, you run hard, boom, you get a single, and now it's already 1-0, and Robles is on base. And again, you have to be intelligent, and you have to be, kind of thinking outside of the box. And I love Victor Robles, and I put him on the thumb, obviously, for the very first time this season because I thought that he was going to have a magnificent game, and so far, he is. Let's go, Mariners. Hell yeah. Let's go. Next up, Julio Rodriguez. I got photos starting to load up here. Let's go, Captain. Hell yeah. It's exactly what we needed. 2-0 count to Julio. Make this magic happen, baby. Let's go. Trident's up, baby. Big swing and a miss. 2-1 count. Two-strike bunt is insane. Like, you know how confident you have to be in your skill set to drop a bunt down 0-2 or to do it 3 times in a row? Like, that's like fucking insanity unless you're really confident in your abilities. Julio pops up into center field. 1 away. Let's throw up these AK-41s while we're in between batters here. Appreciate you, Captain Oreo. And that was a great draft pick. I don't think anyone really knew how good AK-41 was going to be. He used to be a top 5 running back. Then he kind of went down to maybe top 10, top 15. Missed the first 4 games with the suspension. But you've seen with the Saints and Kubiak, he has made a huge difference by being in the starting lineup for the Saints. And obviously Kubiak has got them on a roll. Next up for the Mariners, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Hope you enjoyed those. And I appreciate you, Captain. We'll get reflect photos when he gets back, even though I know he doesn't really care. And Megan, let me know what you want. I assume regulars, and I got you. But if I would have known that AK-41 was going to have a year like this, I would have drafted him. But I just wasn't really too sure on what we were going to get out of the Saints or AK-41. But you did a good job, Sometimes you got to take a risk, and see where it goes. Like I grabbed Tony Pollard thinking that I thought that he would have a good year, and he's playing well. He's like the 12th best running back this season, getting about 16, 17, 18 points a game. And I know that may not last forever, but again, sometimes you got to take a risk. Obviously, AK-41 isn't really a big risk because we already know he's got the potential. But based on the offensive line and the woes of the Saints last year, you didn't really know if he was going to be top 5 or top 20. And he's looking like a top 5 this year. Nice job. Top of the third, 1-0 Mariners with a Hollywood Rojas home run. Victor Robles at first. 1-1 pitch to Cal Raleigh by DeGrom, fouled towards first base. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nice. You always want to try to get the sleepers. May not be the most popular name, but you might think there's going to be potential there if they get enough carries. Let's go, Cal. Pitch is high to Cal Raleigh. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 within the first hour. And we're almost approaching 1 hour right now. Let's see where we're at. I assume we're somewhere between 10 and 15 right now. We're at 12. Cal pops up. If you're in the room and haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Now we're at 13. 7 more to get to 20. And hopefully we'll get there by the 2-hour mark, if not earlier. Top of the third, 1-0 Mariners. Do you feel like you have a better understanding now on how fantasy works? Based on like the bench and the players and what needs to be done, Megan? I just want you to be able to be the most successful you can. And again, with the roster that you have, if you put in the correct lineup, you could make the playoffs. Last year's team was nowhere near being a playoff team, but if you can stay injury-free and put in the correct lineup every week, and you actually have one of the strongest teams in the league. And I wouldn't say that if it wasn't true. Again, especially if you can run with 3 running backs, Etienne, Henry, and Dobbins, or if you decide to put JSN in there with your 2 wide receivers and they all hit, the team is pretty dangerous. And again, you haven't got bit with the injury bug yet. Hopefully you don't, but it is fantasy. So at some point it may hit you, but I just want you to be able to be as successful as you can. And, if that means that, you can make those adjustments and find your way to the playoffs in only your second year, that would be a huge accomplishment considering the people that are in this league. Pitch right down the middle to Randy Arozarena, 0-1 count. We're at 24. Pitch on the corner for a strike. And if you ever don't understand, you can always ask, or shoot me a message, or and I'll be able to try to guide you. I mean, I can't coach up your team because I'm trying to compete against you. I'm trying to win the championship this year, but again, I want you to understand so that way that you're putting your best foot forward, not only against me, but against everyone else. Wild pitch, Victor going to third. Yeah. But like the flex position, never put a tight end there. You already have 1 tight end, never. It's always going to be a running back or a wide receiver. And that's going to be, a player that typically is going to be a strong player. It's like, the most intimidating player that you have, typically you can put in the flex, whether that's a running back or a wide receiver. So that way when people look at your lineup, they're like, damn, and they look at that, like if you have Dobbins there, you're like, oh shit, her flex is getting 20 points a game. Or if you got JSN in there, oh, JSN's getting 10 to 18 a game. Like, it's like kind of a fear type thing. You want to make sure that you're putting your best players in the best spots. And again, always click on the names every week to kind of monitor, what they're doing and look at the rankings of what they're doing against other players in their position. Because again, if you got guys on the bench that are higher ranked than guys in the same position that are in your lineup, like if you got a running back that's in the starting lineup that's 20th and you got a running back on the bench that's 4th, that's a big problem. Randy Arozarena popped up. And it should be a routine play for the left fielder. And it is, and we leave one stranded, Victor Robles, unfortunately, but the damage is done by Josh Rojas, 1-0 Mariners. Yeah, I stole them all. That's why. I said, but between just me alone, I already have a third of the running backs that are in the league. So again, I know Reflect is going to grab them. And again, you have to make sure that you have backups to certain positions, but also you have to realize, sometimes having, extra kickers or extra defenses or extra tight ends, sometimes it's beneficial, but sometimes it's a waste. And you have to make sure what the value, fantasy is always about value. And again, if a lot of guys are getting hurt, you have to make sure you have enough running backs and wide receivers to be able to make, up for the injuries that possibly might happen. So, all right, let's see what other photos I can pull up here. Anything specific that you want? I'm just going to go through some of your regulars here, Megan. Anything that you want specific, let me know. And I got you. I'm going to just do a couple Glenn's here for you, a couple Ansons. Little Stefan. And then we'll be on our way. We're at 24. 76 to go. And I'll hit you with a little F1. There you go. Appreciate you. Let's go, George. Bottom of the third, 1-0 Mariners. We got a solo dinger by Hollywood Josh Rojas. Kind of unexpected, but it's exactly what we needed. There we go. Great defense by Rojas. Speaking of, a guy that hustles to try to get every single out, no matter how far he has to travel. Nice job, Josh. One away. Him and Cal all the way to the Mariner dugout area. Great job by Josh there. One away. Next up for the Rangers, third baseman Jonathan Ornelas. Allie in the building. What's good? How are you? Heck yeah. How's the race going? I know Dale Jr. raced in the Xfinity race earlier today, so obviously anytime Dale Jr. is involved in anything, I'm always paying attention. Love Dale and Dale, the Intimidator, Dale Sr. and Dale Jr. But keep me posted on what's going on with the F1. Bottom of the third, 1-0 Mariners. Nobody on with one out. 1-1 count from Kirby to Ornelas. Yeah, keep me posted on all the scores of the Twins, as well as the Tigers and the Astros. Slow dribbler, throw to first. Wow, what a throw! Unbelievable throw by J.P. Crawford. Are you fucking kidding me? Wow. J.P. Crawford doing one of these, baby. Off a one hopper to Luke Rayleigh. Great defense. There we go. 2 away. We always got to make sure we're giving kudos to our players that play good defense like this. Next up is second baseman Marcus Semien, and we got all the momentum here today for the Mariners. Semien, line drive, right to Rojas. Throw to first to Rayleigh. Yes, sir. Let's go. Yes, we did. Hollywood Rojas with a solo dinger. Do you have anything specific that you want to be able to see photo-wise for Hawks or Huskies or Mariners? Let me know. I know you normally don't care, but again, I can always throw it up if you like. If not, we can always do a little Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul at the end. But if there's anything that you want to represent on the channel, I got you. Otherwise, I'll just throw up something myself. There is a rumor circulating around of a couple teams. I don't think necessarily it's going to happen. But again, Bryce Young is linked to the Seahawks as well as 2 other teams. And if you really think about it, if you didn't have to give up a lot to get Bryce Young to be mentored by Gino, that could actually be a piece that potentially could be something, because I think if Bryce actually does go to a good team, there is something there. He is a little undersized, and the accuracy, there is some question marks there, but obviously playing on the Panthers isn't going to give you the full potential. I think that he's a better player than what we saw on the Panthers, but I don't know if he's a franchise quarterback. I'm not going to go that far, and I definitely wouldn't be starting him over Gino, but just to have like Gino mentor him if they ended up giving up like a 7th round pick or something like extremely low. I don't know what it would be for as far as the value, but if they ended up giving up nothing and like a bag of chips, and then they ended up getting Bryce Young to be the backup, that could probably be one of the best things for his career, kind of like Baker Mayfield leaving the Browns, going to the Panthers, the Rams, and eventually finding the Bucs. Because even if Seattle isn't his forever home, he can at least learn, from good players and good coaches, and get a chance to develop a little bit as like a backup, and then maybe one day Bryce can be a starter somewhere else. Again, because we already know. People want to say Gino's a bridge quarterback, which is false. He is a little older, but to me, he's a top 10 quarterback like Baker. And again, the bridge stuff needs to stop. And again, I'm not sure if there's going to be any truth to that, but Seattle would be a destination that could work, as far as development. Same thing with like the Niners. They already have a lot of talent there, but I just don't know if teams like the Hawks or Niners would be interested. We already seen the Niners take a chance on Trey Lance, and they gave him the boot, and obviously went with Brock Purdy, the correct choice. But we'll see if there is any truth, to that, because I don't know how many teams would really want Bryce Young based on what they've seen. But if it is a good team that has, flexibility, knowing that he's not going to play, just, learn, it wouldn't hurt the kid, as long as you didn't give up a lot to get him. Now if you're going to have to give up like a 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round, 5th round, hell no. But if it's like a 6th round or 7th round pick, something kind of minimal, then yeah, maybe take a look, to see what other teams are saying. So next up is Luke Rayleigh. But that's been swinging around the NFL rumor mill, obviously, in the last 24 hours. Luke Rayleigh, big swing and a miss, one away. Down goes Luke. Hopefully next at-bat will be better for him. Let's go, Luke. Next up for the Mariners, DH, Justin Turner. But again, it would only work if Bryce ends up going to a good team. It can't just be like going from one shitty team to another shitty team. It's not going to work. Like, imagine if Bryce Young went to like the fucking Browns with like Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston. And at that point, you might as well just fucking quit, because then you're going to be dumber and your career's over, So, again, there's going to be other options that, are going to be better. But I'm just trying to think of, not someone that would ever play, but just someone that could learn, from people that are smart and have good teammates to kind of get his confidence back up. So. O2 pitch. Throw to first. 2 away. Yeah, and if the Hawks ended up getting him, it's not like he would take Sam's job. I'm not saying that. He would definitely be like 3rd or 4th string, but it would just be a learning experience just to get the hell out of Carolina so he could actually learn like how an organization is supposed to be run, not Carolina. Top of the 4th, 1-0 Seattle. Nobody on with 2 outs. 0 for 1 with a ground out in the 2nd for Jorge Polanco. O2 pitch. Pitch is outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. No, I don't believe, everything I read, but I'm just saying, Seattle would make sense, as far as like, being a good organization, actually having good depth and being a place that someone could learn from. It's not like I think that Bryce would be a part of their future. It just might be a stepping stone to another team. But again, there's not going to be that many teams that I think that would be a fit for him to learn from. The Niners would be good. Seattle would be good. There's a few teams. Hell, he could even come to Tampa and learn, and so I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but it seems like they're already kind of, out on him. And again, if that means that they go for Quinn Ewers in the draft, #1 overall, if they decide to go quarterback again, that probably wouldn't be the smartest thing to do either. But, sometimes rumors end up being true. Sometimes they're not. But as far as Bryce not being on the Panthers anymore, I feel that could be true. It seems like they don't want him there anymore, even as a backup or a second or third string. So, yeah, it's like Baker Mayfield. He was on the Browns, and then he had to go to the Panthers, and he knew that wasn't his forever home. And then ended up going to the Rams. McVay gave him a shot. Game-winning touchdown against the Raiders, got a 1-year deal, like a try it out, prove it deal to the Bucs, and had a good year. And now he's going to be my quarterback probably for the next 5 to 10. So, but again, I don't really think that Bryce would be, necessarily a person on the organization, long term, but it could be a stepping stone for him to be able to find another team down the road and just to get out of Carolina. Because obviously staying in Carolina wouldn't really be ideal for both parties. But it just depends on who will take a flyer or a chance at him. Again, #1 pick. But again, a lot of quarterbacks from Alabama don't really pan out. Go to the bottom of the 4th, 1-0 Mariners. Next up for the Rangers, shortstop 0 for 1, Josh Smith. Batting second, left fielder Wyatt Langford. And batting third, right fielder Adolis Garcia. Let's go Mariners. Yeah, but no one said #2 quarterback. I never said #2 quarterback. I just said a guy that could learn and then go somewhere else. But let's be honest, too. Sam, isn't the greatest quarterback either. It's not like that's going to be the guy after Geno. And if it is, the Hawks would be in trouble. Again, he might be able to develop better than where he was on the Commandos. But I don't know if any Hawk fan is really confident 100% that Sam is the guy after Geno. I think that they may be looking at another individual down the road. I mean, as far as a backup is concerned, that's fine. But I don't know if he's good enough to be the Hawks starter after Geno is done with his career. Again, he's got a lot of interception problems and, overall developmental problems. But I think a lot of that will be corrected in Seattle from what he had there in Washington. And again, if you're on a team that is a bad organization, you learn bad habits. And I know Sam is better now in Seattle than where he was on the Commandos. There was some potential there, but he threw a lot of picks and made a lot of bad decisions. So, you have to look at it at that route as well. He might be better than Bryce right now, but both of those are not the long-term answer after Geno is done, more than likely. Bottom of the 4th, 1-0 Seattle, runner at first with no outs. 2-0 count from Kirby to Langford. Yeah, too small. Obviously that size is a big, big thing. But it's not like CJ or AR would have succeeded in Carolina either. Popped up, one away. Paisley is in the building. Up for the Rangers, Adolis Garcia. But I think he hit it on the head too. Arm strength and height. If you don't got the arm strength and you don't got the height, you better be like the most accurate quarterback on planet Earth, and we know he's not. So it's a shame that players end up going to organizations like that and get ruined. But that's life. 219 average, 23 homers, 80 ribbies for Garcia. First pitch to Adalis. Chop that one foul, 0-1 count. Yeah, but comparing Knicks and Hurts and Baker and Bryce Young is ridiculous. You know, some guys can be 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", but you got to be able to have the other skills to be able to make it work. You know, and even though Bryce might be listed at 6, he kind of looks like he's more like 5'9", 5'10" on the field. You know, and a lot of these guys, it's what is the height? Is it the height with the cleats on, or is it height without cleats on? Because obviously, if you have cleats on, yeah, I'm 6'2", but if you don't got cleats on, you might be 5'11" or 5'10". So a lot of times those numbers are a little skewed, you know, based on height and weight for athletes. Bottom of the fourth, 1-0 Seattle, runner at first with 1 out. 0-2 pitch from Kirby to Garcia. Garcia chops that one foul, 0-2 count. I mean, every individual is different, you know, based on height. Some guys that are short can make it. Some guys that are short can't, you know. But again, if you are short, you know, you're going to have extra intangibles, you know, to be able to succeed in that league. That's why not every short quarterback obviously is like a Drew Brees or even like Russ in his prime in Seattle. Like not every short quarterback can make it. You know, most can't. They just don't have it in their DNA, you know, to either have the accuracy to make all the NFL throws, scrambling ability, the intelligence. You know, you got to have a lot, you know, going for you, especially as a short quarterback compared to someone that's like 6'5" that can see over the line. You know, it may not be as mobile, you know, running to bootleg and play action, but, you know, everyone is different. Everyone is, you know, everyone is their own individual, you know, based on their height and weight, but what else do you bring to the table? 1-2 pitch from Kirby to Garcia. Chopper towards third base, and Adalis Garcia with a hit. Uh-oh. Get it, Randy. Adalis Garcia with a stand-up double. Runners at second and third with 1 out. Come on, Mariners. Next up, first baseman Nathaniel Lowe. And also, if you don't have an offensive line, or you did have an offensive line and you don't anymore, that could really derail you too, you know, because it's a team game. You know, and quarterbacks, obviously, best friend is a great O-line and a great running back to take the pressure off of them. Pitches high to Nathaniel Lowe, 1-0 count. Pitch. And also, you know, it comes to play with personality, you know, and how they talk to other people, how they treat other people, you know, because someone could be a great athlete, you know, and a great player, but they have a shitty attitude or they're a shitty person, and then you're just not going to want to deal with it. You know, you'd rather deal with someone that maybe has a little bit less skill set, but is a good person and a good teammate, you know, someone that's willing to learn and to be, you know, obviously a brother to everyone on the team. But again, you know, every individual that's out there, you know, there's a lot of egos that are out there, but again, being a team player, you know, being someone that is coachable, you know, someone that's intelligent, you know, there's a lot of boxes that need to be checked off, you know, at certain positions in sports. It's not just, oh, the guy's a freak athlete, you know, it has to be more than that. Big swing and a miss by Nathaniel Lowe. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Because a lot of the other things matter, you know. Again, it's like, oh, freak athlete, you know, but they might get in trouble with the law, you know. And some teams that are stupid, they overlook that. They're like, oh, well, you know, he's got a couple DUIs and he's got some, you know, other stuff, you know, jail stuff going on and whatnot, crime shit, but he's a freak athlete. So let's just take a chance. But when you do that, it ends up almost always backfiring. Nice RBI there. And that brings in 2. Nathaniel Lowe singled to center. Smith and Garcia scored. 2-1 Rangers. I mean, the Raiders are a great example. I mean, look at their draft class that they've had in the last 10 to 15 years. They've hit on some, and they had some good players like Max Crosby, right? Brock Bowers is fantastic. But look at a lot of those guys that they picked on defense that are no longer there or that are in jail or, worse. So, you got to make sure you're picking character guys too. Good teammates, guys that are intelligent, guys that are, coachable. That shit matters in sports. Little slow dribbler to Rojas, force out to second, double play, got him, but the damage is done. Double play is converted, but George Kirby gives up 2, and now we're down by a run, 2-1 Rangers. Go to the top of the 5th. That was tough, man. I wish we didn't have to give up that RBI there, but again, we got to get to 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits to make shit happen here. Let's see who's up next for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a K, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Batting second, third baseman, 1 for 1 with a solo blast, Hollywood Josh Rojas. And batting third, going for a bunt 3 times in a row, even on an 0-2 count and getting a single, one of our most valuable players on our team, Victor Robles. When he plays, we win. When he doesn't play, we lose. Simple as that. Let's go Mariners. I think I'm going to do some throwback photos here for Reflect and some of y'all, as well as Megan and myself. We have to be in a throwback mode, and I appreciate all of you supporting with likes and subs and donos and shares. So we'll go with some throwback photos on the Mariners here. We're reflecting a few of y'all in the room, and hopefully this will give us a little extra oomph in the lineup to come back tonight. Let's go Mariners. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go, JP. Pitches outside. 2 balls and no strikes. There we go, JP. Next up is third baseman Hollywood Josh Rojas. Nice single by JP. JP has struggled this year, but being put lower in the lineup, I feel that has been working for him. Less pressure than being the leadoff guy and then just striking out and grounding out and popping up. Victor Robles is the leadoff hitter moving forward. JP is not going to get that job back. Robles is the better player. And I think JP finally realizes that. But again, you can still be a part of this team. You just can't have that ego get bursted because you're not the leadoff guy anymore. Next up, third baseman Josh Rojas. 1 for 1 with a solo home run in the third. Let's see if he can do it again. Not very likely for a guy to hit 2 home runs in the same game, but you never know. Yeah, everything happens for a reason, You ended up getting a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal where all the team was already built, to be able to win that Super Bowl opportunity. And then obviously, after he was not a top 3 quarterback anymore, but he thought he was, then things started to change. And if you got a bad attitude and an ego and you think you're above everyone, on the team, and things need to be separated and people need to come to the coach before they come to you, and they have to leave a voicemail to talk to you. That's just crazy shit, dude. Like, you're never going to get anyone to ride or die for you if you're going to put yourself on a fucking pedestal like that. And it definitely, burn the bridges with not only the coaches and the teammates, but I feel with the fan base. And that's why even today, another bunt attempt by Robles. Yes! This is why you fucking bunt. This is exactly why you bunt, because you never know when they end up trying to throw it to first or they're trying to field it. It's not something that a lot of defenders prepare for. Victor Robles punts twice and gets on twice. It's like he read my text message this morning and he actually is doing what I wanted him to do. Let's go. Hell yeah. There we go. It's like the biggest X factor in baseball. We don't have shifting anymore. We have the pitch calm. We strike out a lot. We don't really have all the tools to be successful all the time, right? A lot of pop-ups, a lot of ground outs, a lot of strikeouts. What can you do to move guys over and to do something that's like not common, right? As far as offensively or someone to defend that play, you bunt. And Robles is bunting multiple times already, and he's gotten on twice. That should be a key sign for the Mariners. Hey, maybe we should be doing this more often. We should have been doing this at the beginning of the year, and hopefully next year, that'll be something that we see more of 2 to 4 times a game, every single game. Nice job, Victor. And that speed, it's like as soon as the bunt goes down, what happens? Everybody, even great defensive teams, they start running around with like their chicken with their head cut off. They don't know how to respond to a fucking bunt. They freak out. And that's a great thing for the team that's dropping that bunt down as long as it's in the correct spot. Uh-oh, Julio! Back! Yes, sir! It's gone! Let's go! You drop a bunt down, you get on base. You drop a bunt down again with JP on, boom shakalaka, 3-run homer, Julio Rodriguez. Coincidence? I think not. Let's go! 4-2 Mariners. That's my Julio. That's my J-Rod. Tridents up, baby. 107 exit velo. Let's go. Yes, sir. Let's go, baby. Perfect. Nice job, J-Rod. Nice job, Robles. We're dropping that bunt down. Nice job, JP. And again, if JP doesn't get the base hit, Victor Robles doesn't do the bunt, right? Maybe it ends up being just a solo dinger, or maybe it doesn't happen. There we go. Let's go, baby. The sports gods, I just feel like, when things are against us, with everything that's happened, every once in a while, they'll listen to what we have to say. We have ESP on this channel. It's not just me. There'll be people in the room as well. But sometimes you just got to lay these scenarios out there. And then eventually, the guys that we wanted to step up in the early part of the season, they may have choked early, but they're not choking late. Let's go. Hell yeah, baby. Tridents up. Let's go. $20 holla. Let's go, baby. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. Little slow roll dribbler and another error. Hell yeah. There we go. Cal Raleigh gets on base. I love that. 3 errors by the Rangers. Unbelievable. Are you kidding me? Wow. Next up is Randy Arozarena. When's the last time that we played against a team that had 3 errors by the 5th inning? That's awesome, man. Let's go. Sarah with $1. Let's go. Now we're at 45. Hell yeah. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Let's go. And again, that's why it's so important to have good shortstop, second base, and third baseman, especially first base as well. You got to make sure your infield is strong because, again, you end up having these little bloopers that are routine plays. But if you're not focused, you're either going to bobble it or the throw to first is going to be wild. And luckily for us, the Mariners are on point tonight. Top of the fifth, 4-2 Mariners. Let's go. Hell yeah. Let's go. And we needed that shot in the arm so bad, too. When you end up having a 1-0 lead, normally the Mariners don't hang on to that lead. It's usually disappears in front of our very eyes in the next half inning or the next inning, right? We can't even celebrate having a lead normally being a Mariner fan because it just disappears. But luckily, even though we have the 1-0 lead, they got obviously a nice 2-run RBI to take the 2-1 lead. And then when that happens, it usually takes the Mariners like 3 or 4 innings to catch up again or to tie. But luckily, JP got on, Robles dropped 2 bunts down, got safe on both, and then Julio, the perfect player that we needed up at that point, who has been much better as of late, ended up hitting us with that 3-run jack. Next up is Randy Arozarena. Megan with a $5. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack bang bang. We believe. Let's go. Let's go, M's. We're at 50 to go. Pitch on the corner for strike 3 on Randy. Again, strikes out 2 times in a row. Looking. Come on, Randy. Swing the damn bat. Come on, Randy. Julio Ohtani is just ridiculous. Him and Aaron Judge, I was talking with friends. It's like we are so blessed to be able to be alive, to be able to watch these 2 baseball players do what they do. One from the right-hand side, one from the left-hand side. But one thing that obviously, 2 things that Shohei Ohtani can do that Aaron Judge can't is Shohei can steal bags better than Aaron Judge, and Shohei can obviously pitch, even though this year he's recovering from surgery. But it's really nice to be able to see, records being broken. Luke trying to drop down a bunt, but does not be able to get to first. That's another individual that I like dropping down a bunt because he's got the speed to first. Obviously, like some other individuals that we have, like Victor Robles. But Shohei Ohtani, 6 for 6. But you also have to give credit to the Marlins manager for not walking him. Because after the first home run, they could have just said, fuck it, and just walked him intentionally. And then you don't have that miraculous, special day when he ends up getting, 2-3 stolen bags, goes 6 for 6, has 10 RBIs and 3 home runs. But that's really what makes baseball special. Is like when you see a stat line like that, you're not going to see that often, if not ever. And it's awesome to be able to see things that were maybe not humanly thought possible being done. And again, we already know Judge and Ohtani are going to be the 2 guys that are going to hit, the highest number of home runs more than likely. Like if you had to pick 2 guys that are going to hit 50 to 65 home runs, the first 2 names on your list are Judge and Ohtani. And obviously Ohtani can pitch. Ohtani's better running the bags to steal the bases. Judge has got the power and the RBIs. But man, what a magnificent night last night for Shohei Ohtani making that history. Amazing. See if I can get a quick Shohei on here. And then let me know what you guys want for the other donos. I got you. Like 50-50 is crazy. Nice job by the Mariners recovering right there. And we're a little blessed that they had all those errors. Not something that's common. I don't even know if we've actually had a team that's got 3 errors in a game against us. I know we've had quite a few with 1 or 2, but not very many with 3 errors. Way to be a legend, an icon, and a GOAT, not only for, Japanese fans and players all the way back to the wall, and that's a ground rule double as it goes into the fence. But obviously, being just a fan of baseball, we are blessed to have Judge and Ohtani. Nice job, Shohei. Ezekiel Duran there with that stand-up double. And that's not something that happens to George that often. Up center fielder, Leody Taveras. Let's get a double play here. Come on now. I got you. Also, talking in first, second, and third person, maybe not the greatest thing to do. You are not Dwayne Johnson. You are not The Rock. Talking, Matt Payton about Matt Payton and Matt Payton being Matt Payton over here and Matt Payton might not be the most, greatest thing to do in the chat because they will roast you. Come on, Matt. Bottom of the fifth, 4-2 Mariners. Runner at second with no outs. Leody Taveras in the box. George Kirby on the mound. Taveras pops up. There we go. We got that. Oh, I got you with some gambit. There we go. Get him, Rojas. One away. It's always in all good fun. Yeah, and good for Matt being able to get a job. It's like the sooner that you can get into the workforce and understand what it's like to earn your own money and have that responsibility, obviously it's not easy, but you got to be able to dip into that world at some point. You're not going to be able to have things catered for you for your whole life. I mean, obviously there's people that have their parents take care of them for their whole life, but at some point you need to be able to learn the responsibility and that grit on, how to work hard, even if the job stinks sometimes. But at the end of the day, when you get that first or second or third paycheck, when you haven't really had one before, and you spent all that time and effort, whether it was good or bad in those couple weeks, and then you get that money, that's the best feeling in the world, that you accomplished it, and that's your money, not your mom's money, not your dad's money, not your grandpa or grandma or your uncle or your aunt or anybody else. That's your money, and then you can obviously spend it on whatever you want at that point. So bottom of the fifth, 4-2 Mariners. Runner at second with one out. 0-2 count from Kirby to Ornelas. BJ in the building. Let's go Mariners. Which is outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And there's a lot of stuff that you could end up buying, new duck jersey, duck hat, duck chains, other things, which one will be coming your way at some point. Unfortunately, the owner of the Collegiate Art Designs that does the custom chains, as well as the Oregon chains that is officially licensed by the NCAA, has been going through a rough patch where his mom actually disappeared and then was found not alive. So he has not been in like the best kind of maybe mindset or mind frame with everything with his, mom. They ended up finding her vehicle like abandoned and whatnot. So it's kind of a rough spot, and whatnot. So obviously I wanted to be able to, send some stuff, out your way, but things have been a little bit difficult. So I'm trying to wait for, things to kind of, it's not going to get necessarily 100% better, in that type of scenario, but just trying to, kind of pass a little bit more time with the grieving period. And then we'll end up trying to be able to send some stuff your way. Little chopper, throw to first, 2 away. Bottom of the fifth, 4-2 Seattle. Runner at third with 2 outs. Next up is Marcus Semien. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. Let's try to get to 20. I don't think we're there yet. Where are we at right now? First pitch is outside at the knees to Semien. 1-0 count. Let's see where we're at. Where are we? We are at 16. We need 4 more to get to 20. So if you are in the room and haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Now we're at 17. 3 more to go to get to 20, and then we want to try to hit 30 before the stream ends. Appreciate you guys. 0-1 pitch. Pitch is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Marcus Semien. Brett in the building. How are you? One pitch from Kirby to Semien. Popped up. Robles is there, and they leave 1 stranded. Mariners still up 4-2. Let's go to the top of the 6th inning. Let's see if I can get a few photos up here. I know Reflect doesn't really care about the photos, but we can at least try to throw up some. That way we can get a little bit of representation on here, at least with Huskies or Hawks. He's a stud. Jonah Coleman. How are you? Orioles won? Hell yeah. Top of the 6th, 4-2 Mariners. Next up is Justin Turner. But I'm really looking forward to the development of this particular draft pick this year. Again, anytime you can end up shoring up the offensive line or the defensive line, Byron, baby. Let's go. Appreciate you guys, and we'll get some more photos up here in just a moment. Top of the 6th, 4-2 Seattle. 2-1 pitch from Leiter to Turner. Pitch on the corner for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Justin Turner. Jacob deGrom, his night is done. We don't got to worry about him. I think they got Scherzer pitching tomorrow against Emerson Hancock, so that is not going to be easy, but still winnable. Strike 3 on the corner is called. Justin Turner, goodbye. 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, second baseman Jorge Polanco. Let's go Polo. Thank you, Baltimore Orioles, for beating the Tigers. We appreciate that very much. And I know, we got MSU, who is a Tiger fan, but I think we're more deserving of the playoff spot than the Tigers. Like, I respect them. They're a small market team like us, But again, they don't deserve it compared to what we've went through this year, in my opinion. I think our team is better. We've gone through the ups and downs. Yeah, we've had some, times where we've choked and lost to teams that we shouldn't have. But I think that if you're actually looking at who would be more deserving of a playoff spot, us or the Tigers, I think most MLB fans would say us. We would be the more dangerous team going in, and more enjoyable to watch, I think, as well. Not to try to take away anything from MSU and all the Tiger fans that are out there, but they can have their day some other time. If it's next year or the year after, but, if it was between us or them, I think that more people would want to see us in the playoffs than the Tigers. But they have gotten hot as of late. And again, you get hot and healthy at the right time, anything can happen. But if it ends up being between like us and the Twins have been a better team than us this year. But again, you never know how it all play out if we can take care of business in these last 9 games. All right, no worries. Thank you for the heads up. I'll get you and Britt some photos here in a moment. Top of the 6th, 4-2 Mariners. Nobody on with 1 out. And either we're going to do USC Michigan tomorrow, or we're going to do the Mariner game tomorrow. I haven't really decided. And I believe that USC Michigan is on at around 12:30 Pacific, and I think the Mariner game is around 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow. So. Go, JP. You down. Next up is JP Crawford. Mariners with a 2-run lead. We definitely need a little bit more insurance, but things have been going pretty well so far for the Mariners. We'll take it. And if you notice, if you watch the Mariners, typically we don't hit home runs, but again, when we hit 1, we typically hit 2, sometimes 3. So hopefully we can keep the momentum. Rojas set the tone to give us that first one, and then Julio came up with a 3-run blast. Maybe we got 1 more home run in our bag, before the game is up. That's how it typically goes. So. And yeah, that's tough for being an international loyal fan like yourself. You got to sacrifice your sleep and wake up early. JP with a slow dribbler, throw to first, and we don't get anything in the 6th, but I think there's still an opportunity in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. $50 holla. Aussie 12 took down the moose in style. Her moves were sharp. Her grand a smile. Seahawk fan through thick and thin. Here cheers her up with every win. She likes more Stephen, Timothy, Jim, and Dave. Appreciate you. Reflect for the win. $50 holla. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Thank you for your support. And again, whoa, with a 50 and a hundo. I got to start from the beginning. Wow. Aussie 12 took down the moose in style. Her moves were sharp. Her grin a smile. And Seahawk fan through thick and thin. Her cheers her up with every win. She likes some Stephen, Timothy, Jim, and Dave. The ones who make her drool and rave. She laughs and flirts with a teasing glance. Their every photo makes her heart dance. Aussie 12 got a game, but there's no denying this time she wasn't winning. She was crying because Reflect's on beat her 140-96. No lying. Oh, you guys are fun. Thank you so much, man. You guys always make it fun. And, if I didn't have people like Megan and Reflect as Pacific Northwest fans, there was a moment, where we were in a spot where some of the, heavy donators disappeared, or they decided to go to other channels or to turn their back on the NWSF. And it feels good to be able to have people that are loyal to the soil. Some people go away and then they come back and realize what they did. But again, to be able to have the love and the support and the common ground, we want to make sure that we have the right people here. And thank you so much to be able to represent this way for the NWSF, for me, for Paisley, so that way I can continue the dream. And again, Pacific Northwest fans, we're built a little bit different. We're not like other fan bases, not saying that other fan bases don't matter. They do. But thank you so much. You guys are the greatest, and I love you, and I appreciate you. I didn't know if it was a continuation. I saw the comma, but I didn't know if that was something that I was going to have to end with, or if it was going to be you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack, bang bang. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Popped up to Julio, one away. And a hundo. Thank you so much. Your generosity is unmatched. I mean, like I said, there's a few of y'all, Reflect and Megan and a few others, that go above and beyond. And again, anything that is donated is big, even $1, even 99 cents. But when you get into the bigger numbers, 20, 50, 75, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, it really does go a long ways. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And again, with all my things going up, paying $100 a month for gig service, they just raised my rate, for this program that I'm using to provide you these streams every month from $25 a month to $45 a month. I'm going to need the extra, support to be able to continue the grind. And thank you so much for your guys' generosity and support. You guys are unmatched. I love you, and I appreciate you. Zay in the building. What's good? That one chop foul by Wyatt Langford. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We got a very creative bunch here. And again, I know some people, they only care about likes and subs and views. And especially if you have a channel, there's always going to be analytics that are involved. But again, you guys are my tribe. And again, there's going to be other channels that are going to have more subs. They're going to have more views. They're going to have more people in the room. But I would rather have the right people supporting me, than just having a mass amount and then having chaos in the chat and then losing, individuals that I really care about and that they care about me. So I appreciate you guys, and I can't put into words what you guys mean to me. Popped up into right field to Victor Robles, 2 away. Thank you guys very much. Ladies and gents, you guys are amazing. Next up for the Rangers, Adolis Garcia. You creative bunch, you. I love it. First pitch from Kirby to Garcia. Pitch is high and outside, 1-0 count. Garcia 2 for 2, single, double, and a run. And we're very happy that Corey Seager is not playing. Obviously, always does damage against the Mariners, out for the rest of the year. And hopefully, we can continue to put the pressure on the Rangers, and we can get a dub here today. And hopefully that momentum will carry over into tomorrow, because we're going to need it with Emerson Hancock on the mound tomorrow. So. Two-0 pitch. Pitch is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike from Kirby to Garcia. Pitch is high. 3 balls and 1 strike to Garcia. Probably should have a photo of Garcia with his face instead of him just swinging, but let's see what I can find. Here we go. Maybe this will be a little bit better. I'll use this one. 3-2 pitch. Foul, thank God. There we go. That's a better one. Go, baby. Bottom of the 6, 4-2 Mariners. 3-2 pitch. Got him. Goodbye, Adalis Garcia. Not today, baby. Nice job by George Kirby. Let's go. Nice job, George. Let's take a quick look at the stats for the pitchers. George Kirby, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 4 Ks with a 4-2 lead going into the top of the 7th. And then Jacob deGrom, 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 5 Ks. And then Leiter came in, 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, and 4 Ks. So 9 Ks between deGrom and Leiter. And Kirby's only got 4, but we got the run support. We're dropping bunts down. We're getting home runs. And that's exactly what we need to do to be successful against a team like the Texas Rangers. All right, see if I can get some photos up here. Jacob in the building. What's good? All right, well, we'll do a little drool session for the ladies here for a sec. And then, obviously, anything that you want to see photo-wise for Megan, Reflect, you let me know. And I got you. See if I can swoop in some Stefan in here for you real quickly before we get in there, and then maybe we can throw some Hawk photos up or something of that nature. Let's squeeze them in. All right, see if I can get one more in. There we go. Got to work fast. Commercials don't last long. Appreciate you. Any Hawks or Huskies that you want to be able to see Reflect? You let me know. Rojas popped up 1 for 2 with a solo homer in the 3rd, 1 away. Plus, Texas doesn't deserve to win with those jerseys today. Come on now. Next up, right fielder Victor Robles, 2 for 2 with 2 bunts. He doesn't dare drop a 3rd bunt down, does he? That would be electric, especially if he ended up doing it and he was safe. Andres Munoz, great choice. All right, no worries. Appreciate your support. And good luck to USC. You know, obviously tomorrow, even though the Ducks and the Huskies and the Trojans and a lot of us, we battle it out and, we have our rivalries and whatnot. But, I'll be honest, I'll be rooting for every Pac-12 team that's in the Big Ten. I'll be rooting for UCLA to do whatever they can do. I'll be rooting for the Huskies, to get their dubs. And I'll be rooting for the Trojans to get their dubs against, whoever. Again, obviously, if we play one-on-one, I'm going to go for, obviously, the Ducks and try to see what we can do. But if you're playing Michigan, you're playing Ohio State, you're playing anybody else in the Big Ten, I will be rooting for you. Oh, look at Robles trying to drop a bunt down for the 3rd time in a row. That one is a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike to Victor Robles. All right, you have a great rest of your day. Robles. Victor Robles is the most valuable Mariner. Again, like when he is in the lineup at the very top, he sets the tone. And if you guys have noticed, when we don't have Victor Robles in the lineup, we suck. We're not good because we don't have J.P. Crawford as that leadoff hitter to set the tone. had to move him down to the 8-hole. But Victor, he's just got that good vibes, only Eugenio Suarez type of aura about him. Always kind of happy-go-lucky. He's a good defender. He's a good hitter. He can drop down the bunt. And it just makes all the difference when you got a player like that at the top of the order. We used to have Ichiro. JP used to be good. And now we got a guy in Victor Robles that hopefully will be a Seattle Mariner for the rest of his career. I love him. Nice job. 3 hits for Robles, 2 bunts, and then a nice little base knock past the third baseman that he eventually got a grasp of the ball but could not make a play. That was awesome. Let's go, Victor. And is it a coincidence? I put Victor on the thumb today, right? For the very first time this season. And what happens? The sports god said, we're going to make him go 3 for 3. Thank you, sports god. That's what you do when you end up getting Robles on the thumb for the very first time. Should have been on the thumb many times before that, but next up is Julio Rodriguez. Back. See ya! Are you fucking shitting me? Julio with a 3-run jack and a 2-run jack. Are you kidding me? Julio with 2 home runs in the same game. Tridents up. Are you kidding me? Exit velo 103.7. 6-2 Mariners. Let's go. Are you kidding me? Wow. Where has this been all year? Awesome. What a day today. And also it's the donos. The sports gods see the donos, and they're like, look at Reflect putting in all this extra effort, trying to come up with these little rhymes and showing all this mad love and support. And then boom, all the love and support comes into the room. And then the baseball team, they feel that energy. And then boom shakalaka, 6-2. And when's the last time Julio hit 2 home runs in a game? He's only has 4 career multi-homer games. Incredible. Unbelievable. Hannah from Mexico is living La Vida Loca. She's living it, and she's loving it. Let's go. Let's go, Ebs. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Unbelievable, man. And I right when he swung, it looked like it was gone. But again, sometimes you got to look at the camera as it's going to see if it's going to fall. If it's an indoor or an outdoor stadium, is the wind going to catch it and whatnot? And it's just rare for the Mariners to hit, 2 home runs by the same player. But what did I say earlier, just a few innings ago? Typically when we hit 1 home run, we'll get another, and sometimes that'll lead to like 3. And lo and behold, Rojas hits a solo jack, Julio hits a 3-run jack, and then Julio hits another one for a 2-run jack, and now we're at 6-2. And that's how the Mariners typically roll. It's either we hit a lot of home runs or we don't hit any at all. We either get a bunch of hits or we don't hit at all. We get a bunch of quality RBIs, hits, and runs, or we're skunked. And I'm just really happy that we decided to come to play today with everything on the line. Appreciate you. Orioles over Detroit. Yeah, baby. Everything is just coming up. Reflect today, baby. I love it. Appreciate you, my guy. Your generosity. And again, I don't know why certain things end up happening, when we end up having these special dono days or support days, but it just seems like when we end up having these kind of like monster dono days and, people go above and beyond and try to be able to really genuinely help me out. That generosity is never ignored. And it just seems like, the sports gods, they're understanding what the job is today. And shout out to the sports gods. Shout out to Reflect. Shout out to Megan. Shout out to all the individuals in the room liking, stubbing, donating, commenting, and sharing. You guys are the best. Let's go, Mariners. Top of the 7th, 6-2 Seattle. Nobody on with 2 outs. Unbelievable. I'm still in shock. Next up, Randy Arozarena. Unreal. Unfucking real. 2-1 count to Randy. In there for a strike, and they are pitching Randy on the outside corner, and most of the time he doesn't swing. He's already struck out twice looking. He better swing this time around if they pitch him inside. Or outside, excuse me. Outside corner. And same spot. And Randy swings, and lo and behold, it's the exact same spot where he struck out the first 2 times, and he thought to himself, you know what? Julio's got 2 home runs. Maybe I need to get on in this party here. And he ends up getting a hit in the exact same spot where he got struck out the previous 2 at-bats. Nice awareness by Randy Arozarena. Next up, first baseman Luke Raley. Luke, we need a nuke. Now, I don't expect Luke to get a home run here, but it would be amazing if he did. Let's go. And we're due for something like this, 72 and 27 when we score 3+ runs. Is that good? Again, just imagine once we get the right batting order and we get our farm guys up and we get rid of the bad pieces and get good, we're going to be a World Series contender sooner than later. We may not be necessarily there yet, with the batters that we have, and the actual athletes that are on the Seattle Mariner team in 2024. But again, it's not that we need to score 5 or 6 or 7. If we score 3, the bare minimum that you would need in a baseball game typically to win, 3, 72 and 27 record. I mean, that's going to be very close to like what the Dodgers get and what the Yankees get. Unreal. Luke popped up. He can't contribute to the home run party. And the damage is done. We leave one stranded, but Julio goes for his second homer, baby. Let's go. Heck yeah. Let's go. Nice job, Julio. You the man, baby. 4th career multi-homer game. And again, if anyone could end up getting to 20 home runs this season after having a horrible beginning and a horrible middle, and obviously getting hot at the end, it is definitely Julio Rodriguez. Nice job, man. And I know some Mariner fans, including myself, we got upset, with his play. Obviously, sometimes effort, focus, and obviously, the play didn't get called dead, and then Randy Arozarena's bat goes flying towards him, and he kind of lackluster goes back to third and gets called out. We lose the game. But what happened right after that, the next game, homered, and to be able to get kind of back on track. So, even when Julio fucks up, it seems like, normally a game or 2 after, he'll bring it back to show, that's not who I am, and again, it is kind of rare that they didn't blow that play dead when the bat goes flying and almost hit Julio. But again, it teaches you a very coachable moment that you always have to keep your head on a swivel and you always have to continue playing as if the game is live. Just like when you watch football, the game is always going until the whistle is blown. So if the ball is on the ground, you grab it, and you don't just give up on a play. And hopefully Julio will learn that lesson with that tough loss and that criticism that he got, but had a morning meeting with Dan Wilson early, apologized, and a lot of players wouldn't. They would just be kind of, in shame or just feeling bad. But to go in there, to apologize, and to kind of hash it out, and to understand that he's going to be better, that takes a lot of maturity out of a guy like Julio Rodriguez, and that maturity is leading to good things for the Mariners, like 2 home runs by Julio Rodriguez. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, morning meeting. Bottom of the 7th, 6-2 Mariners. Let's see who's up next here for the Rangers. What a game. Very memorable. I'll remember this one for a long time. Not only because of the support that we're getting from Reflect and others, but just what's going on in this game. Next up for the Rangers, first baseman Nathaniel Lowe. And we're bringing in Trent Thornton here in the 7th. I'm not sure if we're going to go Thornton, and then we're going to go Taylor, and then Munoz. And I'm getting Munoz photos loaded in here for you to Reflect as well. Yeah, get your Red Sox to win, Britt. Then we're going to have a meeting morning, and a good one. Good job by the Orioles taking care of Detroit. I like that. Pitch on the corner, first strike by Thornton. What a game. Keep it going. Pitch at the knees into the dirt. First strike. He went around, biting the count 0-2 for Nathaniel Lowe. Come on, Trent. Oh, 2 pitch. Got him. Nice job, Trent. 1 away. Bottom of the 7th, 6-2 Mariners. Nobody out. Nobody on. 1 away. Trent Thornton on the mound. Jonah Heim in the box. Sweet catcher photo. We need more of those from the photographers. I love those. Let's go. Little dribbler. Ezekiel Duran with a slow dribbler towards first with 2 out. Next up, center fielder Leody Taveras, 0 for 2. Should have got more quarterbacks, my guy. You know, I know you love Oregon and the Ducks, but having Herbert and Nix that'll be a disaster, especially if Herbert gets hurt, and he typically does once a season. You know, good luck, but you know, for me, I wouldn't roster either of those guys. I mean, I had Herbert one year, and it was a year when I had, I think, like Mahomes, I had Herbert, and then maybe like Justin Fields, and I had to rotate like almost every other week. You know, obviously, if Herbert is healthy, you know, there's potential there, but again, he doesn't have the same running backs and wide receivers anymore. But I definitely would be looking for another option. Because again, if you go with Bo might end up putting up a 0, you know, or a negative. You know, it could end up being a 4, maybe a 5, maybe an 8. But I wouldn't be expecting too much out of Bo against Tampa. That's going to be a rough one for you. I would definitely be looking at another quarterback. Should have scooped up quarterbacks a couple weeks ago. That way that Shep doesn't have like 4 of them. That way if you could have had like, you know, anybody else to be able to squeeze in there. Sometimes you got to put the fan loyalty to the side and just go for the best players that are available. That one chop foul. 2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, and the Bucks tight end. I don't know if you're going to get anything out of Cade Otton, but knowing you, sports gods love you too. So, lo and behold, the 1 week that you actually have Cade Otton wouldn't surprise me if he actually did get into the end zone for this particular game. It could happen, I'm not sure if he'll get in twice. That would be like a dream come true scenario for you because I think you're going to win regardless if you get a 0 with Otton or not, But the sports gods have their favorites. That's for damn sure. Bucks up in the 9th. Let's go Boston. Red Sox 1, Twins 1, bottom of the 9th. Come on, Red Sox. Angels are down 8-6 to the Astros. Come on, Angels. And we already got the Orioles to beat the Tigers, so that was good. Come on, Red Sox. Big swing and a miss by Ornelas from Thornton. Yeah, Sam Darnold would have more upside than Bo Nix. That's kind of a shitty thing to say, but we got to wait for them to have more quality players around Bo before you end up starting a player like that in fantasy. You might have to wait a couple years for that team to have enough weaponry to confidently start Bo to get 15 or 20 points. Come on, Red Sox. Or you dropped him. Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot of the rookies are struggling, at quarterback. It's not like Caleb is doing good. Jaden Daniels is doing the best, but he can't really throw that much. He's typically getting his numbers with his legs, but I would assume with his arm, he might be the best one, so far, but we haven't seen Drake May, a very small sample. And then obviously Michael Penix Jr. hasn't got a chance. Throw to first. Got him. Wow. What a defensive gem by Polo. Six 2 Mariners, baby. Let's get some Andres Munoz for Reflect. Appreciate you. Hopefully we'll get Troy Taylor in the 8th and Munoz in the 9th. It's like having Sewald and Munoz all over again. I love it. But there hasn't been too many people that have really caught my eye like Troy Taylor. It's just crazy that he's a rookie. Like, we have a bright future with our pitching staff. We just got to get the right combination of hitters. And if we can do that here within the next couple of years, it wouldn't shock me if we make an AL, CS, ALDS, opportunity. We just got to find the right combination, get rid of the pieces that aren't a fit and, get the ones that are, easier said than done. Stop wasting money on guys like, Garv and Polo. Use that for the bullpen. And then, try to use more analytics and stats and, get more guys like Brent Rooker here. That's what we need. Spend the money, Mariners. we already know Stanton is a cheap ass. But even with him being a cheap ass, at some point it's got to, fall into our favor, where we overachieve even with minimal opportunities of getting new players. But at some point, it's going to work out for us. First up is Justin Turner. Appreciate you, my guy. To be able to see him over the years. Let's go. Top of the 8th, 6-2 Mariners. Nobody on, nobody out. Pitches low at the knees, 3-0 count. And hopefully with all of this success that we've had with these 3 home runs, 1 by Rojas, 2 by Julio, that we don't put up a goose egg tomorrow, which is a very strong possibility. We got Emerson Hancock on the mound. We just got to hope that the Uncle Mo and that momentum, considering that we only have like 8 games left after this, that hopefully everyone brings their A+ effort, because this is the end of the year. You just can't be lackluster and ho-hum and act like this is not a big deal. We're going to really need the bats to come alive tomorrow for Emerson Hancock if we really want to try to catch up. And Turner with a walk. Again, we got the Rangers, the Astros, and the A's. We got to get it done, baby. Next up, second baseman Jorge Polanco. What's going on with Drake May? Boycotting? So what was the consensus from, people that live, in like Connecticut, New Hampshire, in the Northeast? What are people saying on like TV, radio, newspapers? Like, do they want Drake May to be the starter for the rest of the year? Do they like what they saw? Do they want him to go and just learn from Brissett? Like, what's kind of the word in the Northeast? Like, are they ready for the Drake May era to happen now, or do they want to wait a few more games and to see what Brissett can do? Because I think like you already know what you're going to get out of Brissett. It's just going to be a check down guy that doesn't turn the ball over that much, or you can go to the rookie that will turn the ball over, but you'll get more explosive plays out of the offense and it'll be funner to watch. I mean, if you're going to lose anyways, you might as well have Drake May out there, but I mean, I think that, even though he got sack lunched a few times, you could see that the offense was moving better with him than with Brissett. And it doesn't really help that Ramondre Stevenson got a fucking .3, and couldn't run, on that Jet defensive line. If he was able to get into the end zone or at least get, 50 to 100 yards, then the passing game would have opened up a little bit more for either one, Brissett or May. It was just an unfortunate circumstance there for Ramondre Stevenson, who's a decent back, a top 15 back, but he looked like a top 40 back yesterday. Jets kind of fucked him up. He was waiting for the GOAT, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers ain't no fucking GOAT. Wow. Oh, so now the people don't want to fuck with him now because he thinks Aaron Rodgers is trying to take a dig instead of like giving the kudos to Brady, who played there. Is he an Aaron Rodgers guy? Is he like was he like a Packer fan growing up or something? Like, what's his backstory? Obviously, we know he went to North Carolina, and I know he's got a lot of athletic brothers. Nice job by Polo, runners at first and second. Is he an Aaron Rodgers super fan? Is he a fanboy? Is he a Packer fan? What's his deal? Because obviously talking about Aaron over Tom in New England, yeah, that definitely won't go over well. Yeah, send me the interaction. Now New England fans are like, get his ass out of there. We don't even want him as our quarterback anymore. And you're like, boo! Like, you've already said enough. We're done with you. New England is already done with the quarterback. He got to play for like a quarter, made a bad comment after the game, and now everyone is done with him. They're like, fuck this guy. Oh, man. Pitch is inside. 1-0 count to J.P. Crawford with runners at first and second. Yeah, I can't disrespect the Brady, for sure. Yeah, plus, I think after, he retired, or even when he came to the Bucs, because when he was on New England, you didn't really see him on social media. And then once he went to Tampa Bay, you got to really see like who Tom is. And, he's a lot funnier. And, he's like a little bit more likable, than what we were able to see from New England, because he was so locked in. And, Bill was running that thing like a very disciplined ship, where there was not a lot of extra that you were going to get out of those players. It was like, bare minimum social media experience, and, it was about winning and being focused. I get it, but it was nice to be able to see Tom and Gronk to be able to kind of let loose a little bit, but still be focused. And we still won a Super Bowl. So obviously it was not like he was just fucking off and that we never won with him. But it's kind of cool to be able to see his true colors and personality come out. And again, I think a lot of times once a player goes from one team to another, then you start to feel maybe a little bit different. I know there's still going to be people that hate Aaron Rodgers no matter what, from Cal to the Packers, obviously now to the Jets, but maybe a little bit more likable for Aaron, on the Jets rather than the Packers and whatnot. And I know obviously that was the case with Tom, a lot of jealousy, with all the Super Bowls. But I think there was a little bit more, common ground and a little bit more acceptance with Tom after he ended up leaving. But again, a lot of it was just jealousy of, so many Super Bowl wins, so many accolades, so many records, and then just going somewhere new like Tampa was kind of a fresh start. But I've watched a lot of interviews with Tom and obviously Gronk and everyone that was a part of that Super Bowl run. I definitely learned a lot about him, more than I learned about him in New England, because he just didn't really share a lot of his personal life or just personal stories as much. Bill was on his ass. Don't be doing that. Study the playbook. No time for social media. I get it. Top of the 8th, 6-2 Mariners. Bases loaded with no outs. Here we go, baby. Rojas in the box. Takes a strike. Let's add on, baby. But again, this kind of makes me nervous, because if we end up getting to 8, 9, or 10, what does that mean for tomorrow? Are we going to get nothing? Are we going to end up losing like 4-0 tomorrow? We got to make sure we save some of these hits, runs, and home runs and RBIs for tomorrow as well. I don't want everything to be today and then we just get our ass kicked tomorrow. But when you watch a team as long as some of us have been fans for, you kind of have an idea how things are going to pan out. But since we are at the end of the year, maybe everyone will put on, their grinding caps on, and we'll be able to pull it out tomorrow, even though it'll be tough. Rodgers was his idol? Golly. Terrible. Yeah, he might not make it in New England. Rodgers is his idol? Jeez Louise. I mean, obviously, one of the most pure throwers of the game, but as far as his personality, there's a reason why he's like voted as the most annoying player, and a lot of people don't like him. Popped up, and Justin Turner tags up from third, 7-2 Mariners. And also not being the most honest person, not just because of the COVID booster thing, but just in general. We already know he's got Hollywood friends and he's in his own world and his own circle, but he definitely gives off more like douchebag vibes than most quarterbacks in the NFL. Regardless if you're a Packer fan or a Jet fan, that's just, doesn't really come across as the most genuine person. There definitely is some intelligence there out of Aaron. We don't think he's dumb, but the way that he carries himself obviously rubs off on a lot of people the wrong way. Not a genuine person, kind of an egomaniac with his rich Hollywood friends. Sack fly, and we'll get another one. There we go. 8-2 Mariners. Here we go. Save some for tomorrow. I mean, this is all great and all, but traditionally when the Mariners do this, the next game, we typically put up 2 runs or less and sometimes we put up nothing. We're like literally no runs, and we'll get 1 to 3 hits. I hope to God that isn't the case, because we got Emerson Hancock on the mound tomorrow against Max Scherzer, and Hancock is very kind of iffy. So to win tomorrow, we're probably going to have to put up 4 to 5 runs. We're not going to be able to put up 1 to 3 and win with Hancock on the mound, more than likely. Maybe we will, but just based on past history, that's kind of, what we are. But maybe we can put up big runs 2 games in a row. You never know. I mean, it looks like we're very motivated here. Did the Red Sox win yet? What the hell's going on in that game? Come on, Boston. Top of the 8th, 8-2 Mariners. Runner at first with 2 outs. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. Is he going to do his best Shohei Ohtani impersonation and try to hit 3 home runs in the same game? The only difference is that Julio's not going to be able to go 6 for 6 with 10 RBIs like fucking Shohei Ohtani. I haven't seen anything like that in my lifetime with all those stolen bags and those RBIs. It's just amazing. And also it's nice to be able to see Julio to put up, numbers like we expect him to. We expect Julio to go 3 for 4, 3 for 5, 4 for 5. Now, I don't expect him to be Ichiro and to be doing it like every day. Ichiro 5 for 5, 4 for 5, 5 for 6, 3 for 5, 5 for 5, 6 for 7. Like Ichiro was an animal, a different type of hitter, lead off, and obviously a power hitter. But it's really cool to finally see Julio hit his stride about damn time, and he's coming up in the biggest moments right now. And it didn't look like he was going to hit 20 home runs, before the season ends, but he's going to now. I like what I'm seeing out of Julio. More 3 for 4 games, more 4 for 5 games, and he's making those at-bats count. It's not just singles anymore, right? He's actually getting doubles, home runs. Things are getting there. Let's go. Another 3 for 4 day for Julio. Pitches outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I mean, part of it was with Scott Service being fired, getting Dan Wilson in there, having Edgar work with him. But also it's Julio putting in the effort, putting in the extra effort in the cage and listening. Sometimes, you can be a superstar player right out of the gate, and you can, let that, kind of get to your head. Ego can get real big, real quick, especially if you're, the face of the franchise. He's already, going to be one of the top 5, top 10 popular players, and he's always going to be that, based on who he is. But we just need to make sure that his skill set matches his popularity. And for the beginning of the year, it did not. Wild swing by Julio. That was garbage. Throw to first. And that was a waste of that bat, but the damage is done. 8-2 Mariners. Ramos. I saw that Ramos ended up hitting the ball into the bay from the right-hand side like a week ago or a week and a half ago. So I've seen him start to get a little bit better. I'm not watching every single Giant game, but I usually try to keep up with everything that's going on in the league. And I try to read a lot and watch a lot of film and highlights and whatnot, but that's crazy. All right, bottom of the 8th, 8-2 Mariners. Let's see who's up next here for the Rangers. And we're 8-2, going into this particular matchup. So we've owned the Rangers this year. So we just got to keep that momentum going. Next up, 0 for 3, second baseman Marcus Semien. He doesn't go 0 for 4 often, so this would be big. Batting second, 1 for 3 in a run, shortstop Josh Smith. Really hasn't found his groove just yet, but he did get a hit. And batting third, 0 for 3 with a K, an up-and-coming Ranger, Wyatt Langford. Let's go Mariners. You put Victor Robles on the thumb, good shit happens. Let's go. I figured you were a Giants fan because you mentioned that. So we got a few Giant fans that come through and, come hang out from time to time. Last score from last year versus the Rangers, 3-1. So we're 11-2 going back to last year. We'll take that. Oh, God. Twins in Boston in the middle of the 10th. Come on, Red Sox. Please. Angels are starting to catch up a little. It's 9-7 now. Astros against the Angels, but I don't know if they're going to come back against Houston at home. Come on, Red Sox. I mean, we got the first part of the equation that you wanted. Come on, Brett. Work your magic. We got JT Chargois, so we don't even have Troy Taylor in. We'll probably save him for tomorrow, which is probably the smart decision because I don't know what we're going to get out of hits and runs. We don't know how good or bad Emerson Hancock is going to be. He might end up doing one of his good performances where he gives up 3 runs or less, or it might be one of those kind of average to bad performances where he gives up 4 or 5 or more. So we're really going to need the offense to step it up tomorrow. Scherzer's on the mound, and he's been kind of hit or miss. Just like with DeGrom, this was his second start, in 2024, and it didn't really bother us here. But again, we own the Rangers so far to the last part of last year and this year. But anytime I don't know if it would be any better if we had Luis Castillo. Obviously, Luis Castillo is a bigger name, but the way that Castillo was pitching as of late, it was kind of, not that good. It would be, you have more maybe upside with Castillo, but again, when Luis is on, he's on. But when he's off, he's really fucking off. So maybe, we can get a lot of ground outs and pop-ups tomorrow. We don't expect a lot of strikeouts out of Hancock. I would assume 4 or less, but again, if we can get a lot of cheap outs and we can manufacture some runs early, maybe that'll be just enough for us to barely win like 4-3 tomorrow or something of that nature. In the right field, Victor Robles with that great defense, baby. Castillo is due back September 25th. So 5 days. So by the time we end up playing the Astros or Athletics, depending on how it all pans out, Josh Smith with a high fly ball, but we will get him before the season ends, and that's probably good because, again, I don't think we can really trust Emerson Hancock right now. It's like we really have to get the hits and runs early and often. And it's not like he's terrible, Emerson Hancock, but I don't think anybody trusts him. Yeah, I think one or more, maybe one start against the Astros and maybe one against the A's at the end, maybe, Yeah, Robles is a G, one of my favorite players. And again, I just had this weird feeling about Robles today. We haven't had him, and I really felt the loss in the lineup as well as defensively. So I thought, this is the time that, I need to be able to, throw him on there. I was trying to find a better photo for Adolis Garcia kind of facing the opposite direction. But I couldn't manufacture a good enough one. And I was running out of time. Robles with another out right there. Because I usually don't like, the thumbnail to have guys, both going to the right or both going to the left. I want them kind of like facing each other so it looks a little bit more streamlined. So, obviously having them both go to the right or both to the left, it's not necessarily ideal. But I want to make sure I had a good image. And I wanted Robles on there. And too bad I couldn't find this same image of like Adolis Garcia flipped. So he's facing Robles, but it didn't matter. We got some great support here. And not only in the Dono train from Reflect and others, but with the Mariners, with Rojas, as well as Julio with 2 homers. And we're on the cusp of winning this game. And that's what it's about, baby. Let's go. We need this. We deserve this, man. We've gone through hell and back with this team. End of the 8th. Let's go to the top of the 9th. 8-2 Mariners. All right, Festa's coming in for the Rangers. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 3 with a base on ball and a K, Cal Raleigh. And obviously we don't need a Cal Raleigh home run here right now, but we will probably need one tomorrow. So I'm hoping that Cal Raleigh will be able to go yard and give us a little bit of juice tomorrow. We're going to need everyone to come to play. Let's go, Cal. Batting second, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And batting third, first baseman Nuke Raley. We definitely need Nuke to nuke it tomorrow as well. We're not going to be able to get everyone to homer, but when you watch a team as often as a lot of us in this room, there's no other YouTuber that's going to do more baseball games for their team, for the Mariners, than me. And you start to learn a lot. You think but you don't really know unless you're watching every game from beginning to end, and you really start to see all the little, gray areas of strategy with this team and again, and how the team reacts to adversity and how they react to success and when they're getting their ass kicked. And, a lot of times you can kind of, sense with a little ESP and you can predict sometimes what's going to happen. And I just hope tomorrow the bats will become alive because we're going to need them. I mean, there's cornerstones to the team. I mean, this is a cornerstone piece. Best player this year, Cal Raleigh, popped up. And it's an easy out to center field, one away. Obviously, this is the most popular player. Struggled early, but is really coming on strong late. This is one of the best additions that we've had to the Mariners in 5 to 10 years. And this is the most consistent player on the Mariners, and this is what makes us go. When you don't have this player in the lineup, it hurts more than not having Julio, Cal, or Luke. Again, you need to have a guy to start the engine. You need to have that guy to be able to get things going. And Robles is so valuable to this team. And I think a lot of us thought maybe Randy was going to be that guy. And Randy has definitely had his moments, but he ain't Victor Robles. And again, if I had to choose one or the other, I'm going Victor all day and all night. Hell, you could actually argue, Victor is just as valuable, if not more valuable than Cal or Julio, just based on what he does on an everyday basis. I mean, we got 4 guys to build around with the pitching staff, and again, some of the other guys that I did not mention are obviously replaceable or upgradable. We can go and upgrade some of these other spots, but we definitely have a good core. We just need to add to those 4 and see what we get. Top of the 9th, nobody on, 1 out, 8-2 lead. Festa on the mound, Arozarena in the box. Pitches outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's awesome, man. And it sets the tone for us, especially like when we had JP earlier in the year. Nothing is more demoralizing to a team and a fan base when your leadoff hitter goes 0 for 3, 0 for 4, 0 for 5, over and over and over again. There's nothing more because you're not setting the tone. You want to be able to have some magic in the first inning or second inning. And when you're not being able to start off the rally, it kills it. And then it rubs off on the next guy, number 2 hitter, number 3 hitter, but when you end up getting something right away, then sometimes magic happens on that second batter or that third batter. And then all of a sudden it's a 3-0 lead instead of, being 0-0. And I really appreciate Robles and Luke Raley with their bunting ability and just doing all the things that other players maybe aren't willing to do or don't have the skill set to do. There we go. Randy Arozarena to first. We'll take that. At least it's not a strikeout for Randy. Struck out looking twice in the same spot. Swung finally on the third at-bat, got a hit, and now with a walk. Now next up is Luke Raley. And at any given moment, Luke can go yard. And again, I love his hustle. There's a reason why him and Cal are best buddies. And I really, really like Luke Raley and what he brings to this team. And again, obviously, we don't have Jose Caballero, and that was a good fit, for the Tampa Bay Rays, but we won that trade. 244 average, 21 homers, 55 ribbies. You'd like that batting average to be a little higher. Double play. And you're not going to get Raley. Good effort by Luke. Yeah. And we haven't really had a good leadoff hitter. I mean, we had Ichiro, and then JP was good a couple years ago, for like 2022, 2023. But, regardless of the injury with the pinky, moving forward, there is no reason that you have anybody but Robles lead off unless he's injured, or you're giving him a day off. And then if you want to put like someone like a JP there, but I still don't think JP, I would put him there. I think putting him later in the lineup is going to be better and beneficial for us. Not saying that I like having Julio as a leadoff hitter if Robles is out, but there has to be someone else that we can find to lead off, like maybe Rojas or someone else. JT, there we go. Justin Turner with a hit, baby. There we go. Nice job, Big Red. A great addition for the Seattle Mariners at 39 years old, the oldest everyday positional player at 39, and he can still help contribute to a team. Nice job, JT. Lauren in the building, what's good? Yeah, Brian, but we did get the Orioles to win, and if we can get the Red Sox to win, that's going to be probably more important. It's not like we're going to catch the Astros in the division, but for as far as wild card people are concerned, if we can get the Twins and Tigers to lose, that's probably just as beneficial as an Astros loss, probably more, because we're just not going to catch them. But we can catch the Tigers and the Twins, so... Lauren in the building. What's good, brother? Go M's. Demo. Let's go, baby. .206 average, 10 homers, and 41 ribbies for Demo. Let's go, Demo. Let's go, Dylan. Popped it up. And that one goes out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Little slow roll dribbler. And a tap on second base. And we're going to go to the bottom of the 9th with an 8-2 Seattle lead. Let's see who's up here for the Rangers. Next up for the Rangers, 2 for 3 with a run and a K. Right fielder, Adolis Garcia. Batting second, 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 Ks. First baseman, Nathaniel Lowe. And batting third, with one of the better photos that I've seen out of a catcher in a long time, 0 for 3, Jonah Heim. Sweet photo. Let's go, Mariners. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We need 6 more to get to 30. So if you are in the room and haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Now we're at 25. Thank you so much. We need 5 more before the game ends, and then we'll be at our goal at 30. Let's go, baby. Oh, we're bringing in Bizardo. If this was Bizardo at the beginning of the year, we would be in trouble because there would be a chance that Texas would, tie the game up, with him pitching. But he's been a little bit better as of late. All right, we got Emerson Hancock tomorrow. 3-4 record versus Max Scherzer. 4.83 ERA versus 3.95. And then on Sunday, we got Brian Wu, 8-3. He needs to recover from that bad loss that he had at his last start going against Andrew Heaney, who's 5-14. So there is a good chance that if we can get the dub somehow, some way, and get some kind of runs and hits with Hancock tomorrow, we might be able to sweep the Rangers. Nice job, Bizardo. First pitch for a strike. There we go. I've already gone through Jameis Winston and Chris Sims and a bunch of garbage at quarterbacks over the years. I am due, to be able to have someone, even though, we did have Brady, but it was only for a couple years. But it's just really nice to be able to have a quarterback follow Brady and to be as good as he is, for him to mature. And thank God he ended up having a daughter with his girlfriend/wife because if he didn't, I don't know if we're going to be seeing the same type of Baker Mayfield that we're seeing right now. And I'm really happy that he will more than likely be my quarterback for the next 5 to 10 years. At some point, they'll be looking for another guy, to compete with him, but not anytime soon. Slow dribbler. Throw to first is a little late, but at least it wasn't wild. And he is safe. It's all good. Britt, you can always convert from being a Pats fan and you can be a Bucs fan. We got the Tom Brady and Gronk connection already. So, why don't you come over and hop on the ship? Okay, we can represent. Go Bucs. 8-2 Mariners. Bizzardo on the mound and Nathaniel Lowe in the box. Come on, Red Sox. 1 for 3 with a 2-run single in the fourth. And we obviously need the Twins to lose. We need the Tigers to lose and the Astros to lose. But, normally you're not going to get all of those. It seems like the Astros will probably end up beating the Angels unless the Angels have some kind of miracle. But, getting to catch up to Houston isn't likely. But as long as the other wild card teams lose, it'll help us. And we got the Astros next, and then we got the Athletics. So, there's definitely going to be some tough games. And obviously the Athletics would love to play spoiler to the Mariners with Brett Rooker and company. And their team is much improved from last year. The A's, have some ballers on their team, especially the first 4 guys in their lineup. So we'll see what happens when we get to that point. But hopefully we can get as many dubs as possible against the Rangers and the Stros before we play the A's to kind of finish out the year. I don't want our season to be over. Two pitch to Lowe. Little chopper over Bizzardo's head. Double play. Woo! What a double play there. That was beautiful. Nice job, JP. Nice job, JP. Way to play that great defense over Bizzardo's head. Waits to tag the runner. You're not going anywhere. And then let me get you the throw to first. Beautiful. Nice double play by our boy, JP Crawford. You might not be our leadoff hitter anymore, but you're starting to find your role, even if it is in the 8-hole. And you're playing better as of late. Good job. Last potential hitter for the Rangers, catcher Jonah Heim. Come on, baby. Bottom of the ninth, 8-2 Mariners. Over under. Bottom of the ninth, 8-2 Mariners. Nobody on, 2 outs, 0-2 count. And who would have thought Bizzardo would close this out? But again, he's been much better than what he was at the beginning of the year. But he does give up a base knock there to Jonah Heim. We're saving, obviously, Taylor and Munoz for tomorrow, and that is a smart decision. And when you get a photo like this on screen, of course you're going to get a hit. There needs to be more photographers taking photos like this. Fire. Next up, DHing for the Rangers, Ezekiel Duran. Now let's end this game. Let's not let them get any hope that they're going to make a rally here. That one chop foul. Ezekiel Duran, 2 for 3 with a double and a single. And I'll be doing the Mariner game tomorrow. I will be watching USC and Michigan at like 12:30. I was thinking about doing one or the other, but I can't skip any Mariner streams, with only 8 or 9 games to go. I mean, especially if I had a goal of doing 150 games out of 162. And the only reason that I would miss one is if like a WWE pay-per-view was on, or if we had a football stream that was on like Monday night or Sunday night. So we'll be doing the Mariners tomorrow with Emerson Hancock going against Max Scherzer. Vamos, Mariners. Come on, Red Sox. You going to win this damn game or not? I'll be live tomorrow at 4 o'clock Pacific. That one chopped foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Come on, Bizzardo. Red Sox put a guy on third with 1 out. Sack fly. Bueller. Chopper. JP. Oh, he bobbled it. Fuck. Damn it. And he didn't want to have a wild throw to first. Now runners at first and second. God damn it. End this. I don't want to see them get another run. You know, let's finish this off on a high note here. Maybe putting in Bizzardo was a mistake. Maybe we should have put in someone else. I mean, how many pitches are you going to have if Taylor or Munoz comes in here? I mean, probably not that many. Line drive to first, foul. We don't want any big RBIs or home runs here late to give them any kind of hope. I mean, we're up by 6, but again, if you have the wrong pitcher in the wrong inning, a lot of shit can happen. I mean, we've seen leads disintegrate in front of our very eyes, like Thanos in Marvel. You know, where we had a big lead and then goodbye, it disappeared. So, hopefully, we can find a way to end this. Yeah, for real though. They do. That one. Chop foul behind the plate. Into the net. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Come on, Bizzardo. Yeah, but I don't think anyone anticipated KK 2 home runs by Julio. But again, we've seen a lot more 3 for 5, 4 for 5 days as of late. And deservedly so. I mean, how long are you going to suck, as a top 10 popular player in MLB? At some point, you're going to have to live up to your contract and your name. J-Rod, you got to live up to it. And finally, things are going his way and going the Mariner fans' way as well. Popped up. There's the ball game, baby. Hell yeah. Final score, Mariners 8, Rangers 2. Let's go. And when the Mariners win, what do? We fucking dance. Mariners win. Mariners win. Mariners win. Let's go. Hell yeah. Big win. Nice job by Rojas setting the tone. Victor Robles going for 2 bunts in his 2 first at-bats. That's something that we should be implementing every single game. Again, I don't expect one player to go for a bunt 3 times in a row, but it shows you, if Victor would have just swung at his first 2 at-bats, maybe those are outs. Maybe he gets singles, but maybe it's just, pop-ups and ground outs or strikeouts. So I like the, kind of gutsy move to be able to go for a bunt 3 at-bats in a row and being able to convert. Big win here for the Mariners. Now we just got to finish it off here with the Red Sox. All right. I might have to go to the Red Sox game here before I leave the stream. Any photos that you want me to be able to put up for you, Reflect? Being the MVP? It's like the game is a commercial break. But I got the game on now, the Red Sox game. Julio. Gotcha. Nice job, Mariners. Big win. We needed this. Good outing by George Kirby as well. Didn't give up a whole lot and set the tone early. Nice job by Josh Rojas as well. And Julio is that guy. Again, he doesn't have to wear sparkly cleats to go 3 for 5 or 4 for 5. Nice job. Way to bring that electricity to the lineup. We really needed you, man. And again, there's a lot of Julio haters that are supposed Mariner fans, but again, we're going to have the ups and we're going to have the downs. It's not going to always be pretty. You already know that going in as a Mariner fan. The last thing that you need is to be able to be negative, based on a guy that's going to be here for maybe his whole career. So, sometimes it's going to be good, sometimes it's going to be bad, and you're just going to have to live with it, But again, if you're patient, enough, good things will happen. Twins won, Red Sox won. There's a little bit of rain coming down. Criswell on the mound, Buxton in the box. Come on, Red Sox. Rain is coming down. Top of the 12th, 1-1, Twins and Red Sox. Byron Buxton 1 for 5. Criswell on the box, or on the mound, excuse me. Pitch is low and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. And I don't know how long this game is going to go because obviously I still got to eat dinner and take Paisley for a walk and whatnot. But nice job, Mariners. Oh, shit. Little chopper. Damn it. Now runners at first and third. Uh-oh. Come on, Red Sox. Oh, boy. Get a couple more Julio photos for Reflect. Come on, Red Sox. Oh, I like that one. I haven't seen that one before. There's a new one to the stream. I got another one. Okay. A couple more Julios we can add to the broadcast at some point. All of us Mariner fans giddy like Julio in this next photo. After he had to end up hitting a home run, you'd be giddy like this. Ooh-wee. Appreciate you, Reflect. Oh, no. Off the pitcher's glove. Fuck. No. Damn it. 2-1 Twins. Uh-oh. Damn it. 2-1 with nobody out, with the guys at first and second now. Red Sox are going to need a fucking miracle in the bottom of the 12th to win this, or tie it up to extend it. What is the pitcher doing? Red Sox have struck out 19 times. Tell me you're lying. That can't be true. Is that true? Wow. Unbelievable. I mean, we know the Mariners have gone through slumps and whatnot, but wow, 19? But I guess the game is 1-1 and we're in 12 innings, so I mean, wow. anything else that you want to be able to see photo-wise, reflect before I go take Paisley for a walk? I got to go take her for a long walk. She misses her dad, so I want to make sure I take care of her. We will be live for the Mariner game tomorrow. Again, I'll be live at 4 o'clock Pacific. Emerson Hancock versus Mad Max Scherzer. Super excited. It's all good, man. Good choice. Thank you so much for your support today and every day that you come through, regardless if you donate or not. But on the days that you do donate, it really does make a huge impact on the channel. You know, not only for me and Paisley, but for the others to see what you provide. And I really appreciate our friendship. And, you know, it's, one of those things, that will bring us together, being Pacific Northwest fans and, having that fantasy football bond as well. Appreciate you very much, man. The only problem is now, instead of it just being you and me in the championship every year, now we got other people that are slowly but surely catching up. Again, we're going to have our own type of strategy, and we're going to be the tone setters, on how things go. But again, you're starting to see, a few other teams, we have to kind of wait and see on injuries and how things happen. But hopefully you and me don't have any more big injuries, but obviously that's, almost impossible. But, hopefully we can end up in the championship again, this season. But again, it's going to be a little bit tougher based on the people that we have in the room. Another single RBI. Shit. 3-1 with bases loaded and nobody out. This one's over. Damn it, Brett. See, you should have just told me you were going to be a Buck fan, and maybe they would have ended up winning this game. Damn it. You want me to suffer with you? Brett. Ay. 3-1 Twins, bases loaded, nobody out. Royce Lewis up 2 for 5, single and a double. Finally, they get an out. My God, that's rough. Bases loaded with 1 out now. 3-1 Twins. Come on, Criswell. It's like it's not my fault. Well, at least on the bright side, your fantasy team looks good. So again, we're not always going to have all of our, teams win and players play well, but at least on the bright side, you had a good draft, and it looks pretty good. And hopefully you end up winning your family fantasy league. I'll be rooting for you. Popped up. That's 2 away. And there's another individual tagging up. 4-1 Twins. Damn it. Nebraska going to get upset with the Patrick Mahomes clone. But anytime you end up, being a high prospect, regardless if you're dressing up or trying to emulate Patrick Mahomes and whatnot, I mean, the guy's got skills. And it's kind of surprising that he ended up choosing Nebraska. The guy could have went to any college he wanted to, but again, you might, but with him, he might have had to been on the bench And, and maybe that's not what he wanted. That's why he wanted to go to Nebraska, because he knew he would start right away. So, man, Mariners, when we already have so much pain, I'm not sure if Mariner fans can handle Red Sox pain on top of Mariner pain. We already have enough pain for ourselves, Well, you finally get out of the inning, but you're now down 3, 4-1 in the bottom of the 12th incoming. Big Pape. Before he was David Ortiz, when he was like, David Urias, when he was on like the Twins, and then he ended up having the name change, and then went to Boston, and then the rest is history. Yeah, we've had a lot of just like, here, take our talented players and have fun with them, Let me go check up on Paisley here real quick. I may watch the rest of this Red Sox matchup, and obviously we got that college football matchup as well. But give me a sec here. I do need to end the stream at some point, but let me see how Paisley is doing. That'll be the determining factor. I'll still watch the end of whatever happens, but let's just double check here to see how she is doing. She is my baby, so I gotta take a quick peek. Give me one sec. All right. One away. All right, looks like there's only 2 more outs possibly, unless the Red Sox can get on a big rally here. I do need to take Paisley for a walk, but I guess if I'm going to suffer with Britt, we're going to suffer together, so. We're all suffering together. And I don't need no Astro fan coming in here with Astro stuff. Get out of here with that. Get out of here, Astros. Golly. Connor Wong, 2 for 4. We're in the bottom of the 12th. Runner at third with 1 out. Copper. 2 down. But you gain a run. 4-2. There's a little bit of life here. Britt is dragging her down. Dragging me down with her. Huh? Paisley was laying down, not on the couch, but behind the couch with a blanket. So she's waiting for Dad, but we got 1 out to go here. Trevor Story takes a strike, 0-1 count, 2 for 3 with a single double. 264 average. 0-1 pitch. Chops that one foul. 0-2 count. Man, that rain is coming down. All right. The Red Sox just couldn't squeeze it out. Final score, Twins 4, Red Sox 2. I guess we can't always get everything that we want, right? It's just, and we wanted the Astros to lose. We wanted the, Twins to lose. We wanted the Tigers to lose, and we only got 1 out of 3. But we did win ourselves. You can't, again, life isn't always fair. But again, as long as we take care of business, maybe the other teams will find a way to give us a chance, at least a little bit late. So I appreciate every single one of you guys. Like, sub, donate, comment, share, reflect. You're the MVP. Appreciate you. Britt, Captain Oreo, Sarah, Britt, everyone. I love you. Again, I'll be live tomorrow, 4 o'clock Pacific. I'm going to go take Paisley on a long 30 to 45-minute walk. There won't be anybody out there. It's like the most peaceful thing in my life. I love it. And again, final score, Mariners 8, Rangers 2. Sorry, Britt. I wish that the Red Sox could have come back there. That would have been great, but tied a franchise record of 20 strikeouts. Wow, that is crazy. Crazy. Well, hopefully things get a little bit better, but Paisley says bye. She misses you guys as well. And again, Reflect, thank you so much for your over-the-top generosity. You have been amazing. And I will speak with you guys, obviously, tomorrow. And make sure you guys wake up early to watch some college football and USC Michigan. I'll be watching that. And hopefully you guys will get a chance to watch that as well if you have some spare time. And I got one question for you. Who talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang, go Mariners. Gang, gang.